Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Shema, 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 Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael. Shema Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema, Shema, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu. Shema, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema, Shema, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema, Shema, Shema Yisrael, Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema 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 Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu. Shema, Shema, Shema Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu. Shema Yisrael, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu. Shema Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu. 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 Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Well, I just making a guest appearance tonight.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Shema Good evening, everyone. Health, wealth, love, peace of mind, happiness, and strength. All hail President Oscar, CEO and President of Clowntown. Congratulations, Oscar. You've been promoted from President to CEO. Mazel Tov. Rabboinai Shaloleh. Good Shabbos. Broadcasting out of Tel Aviv, Israel. This is Mossad Headquarters with Oscar, President and CEO of Clown House Operation. It kicked me. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Shema Israel,
Most of
Adonai
porn sites
Eloheinu,
are
Adonai
Jewish
Echad,
owned. That's
Shema
also one of
Israel,
the
Adonai
most.
Eloheinu,
Oh,
Adonai
is that
Echad.
kidding?
Yeah, it's funny, right?
Shema
Anyways, going back to
Israel,
what
Adonai
if a guy
Eloheinu,
has
Adonai Echad,
the
Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu,
heart,
Adonai Echad, Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Shema Israel,
I don't
Adonai
know,
Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Shema Israel,
I'm
Adonai
voicing
Eloheinu,
to it.
Adonai Echad, Shema
So if
Israel,
someone
Adonai
has,
Eloheinu,
let's
Adonai
say,
Echad,
your
Shema
crypto past, you have, I don't know, $250 million in it, and you know if you go inside the truck, you're going inside, no matter how much deterrence they have. So deterrence itself, I don't believe in deterrence. I mean, it just delayed.
Look, somebody wants, because they've stolen it that much.
Oh, bro, I think deterrence is bullshit. It delays.
It hasn't worked, has it? Look at America. It's been 4 years of complete failure in the deterrence department.
You know what's sad?
They
No, I love
fucking
Democrats.
trying, but they've got no.
It's so sad. I love Democrats, but they're horrible at what they're doing.
Yeah, but they're
I hate, I'm never Republican. Libertarian guy, but I would never, if I was American, I would never fucking vote for the Jewish slaves. I consider them the Jewish party of America. Yeah, but I would never vote.
Well, the only true liberals
Sold and bought by Israel. They're literally not American party.
Ron Paul. Notice.
Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu,
I like
Adonai
the Vivek.
Echad,
I really like the Vivek. I really like, even though he's Republican, if he turns libertarian,
Shema
I'm really
Israel,
Vivek loves us. That's funny. I can tell you why. Because Vivek is sold and bought by the Armenians, while Trump is sold and owned by the Jews. And the Jews are pro-Israel and pro-Azerbaijan. So they're against us. And that's so funny that both of them are the same camp. That's hilarious.
Default Trump. I mean, Trump doesn't do anything for
No,
anyone.
we actually could, but Armenians in America, you fuck yeah, the lobby can, but you would be actually surprised now.
Of the woman voter. You want to get on your soapbox now and crow about Roe versus Wade? Well, guess what, my man? You're going to stay unemployed.
Yeah, but women are fucking. They are.
Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Shema Israel, Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Shema Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Melech Elohim asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadik asher Shabbat anei pri hagafen. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
I'm sorry. Hey, we're acting like we need a woman like we're regardless.
Well, I think men are experts on women. That's just my opinion. Michelle is coming up. I invited Amanda. Oh, Emily's in the team, so she's not going to be involved. Michelle, I sent you an invite. But I think that she is excited. She's an excited female voter, and she's going to. I think she might win, man. I really am excited about it. What's up, Michelle?
Well, you need to get on Twitter and look at O'Keefe's page. because they are promoting all that money as being grassroots and individual, but if you get the list of the people who donated money, they've got, say, you donate $10, and then they use your name 100 times. Thank you.
See, you hear that guy? He watched it live. He watched it live.
I watched it live.
Okay, so do me a favor, if you can. Just trying to paraphrase the whole segment.
Question about the girl in the middle asked the question about Trump is buying the Cassie was he with the and argued that he should have immunity.
The Jewish vote has never affected a national election in any way whatsoever.
You don't believe that? Oh,
No, we're not enough people. We're not enough people to affect the national election.
Alright, Richard, hold on a second. Richard, I know you can't, welcome to my statement, something.
Hi, James.
Good.
I was going to think about to be able to make or break a. No, I'm here to be able to make or break an election. You gotta get.
Well, I should kind of reach you, don't need to reach you, right? Maybe so. So, Samantha, yeah, what do you think about what I'm saying? You think she has a punch chance?
Oh, I think she has a chance. Yeah, for sure. I think it'll get closer and closer as we get closer to November. It's just gonna tighten up. Yeah, I think she's got a pretty good chance actually.
Thank you, Roy, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm saying that you have to at least 1 to 2% of a percentage point to sway any sort of election. I mean, the numbers that people look in order to sway an election is like, can't that help? Like in Pennsylvania, like the Hispanic vote in certain Puerto Rican communities, not like marginal Jewish votes, like districts that don't even fucking matter. You know, excuse my French. So, no, Jews have never been large enough of a number to even reach 1% of a margin to be able to sway something, no matter how, in almost any, what do you call it, in any, like, I can't think of one census that would garner that, like, where there's like, oh wow, it's such a populist vote of Jewish voters that they can actually make or break a election. I mean, you see most Jewish electorate actually vote within like the party lines of their own district. If they're deaf.
Roy, first of all, let me just say, I love when you speak French and stuff, French. And also, this is your lane, right? When we get into like Poland and stuff like that. Well,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna do this really deep
I look at
French
polls all the
voice.
time, and I
See how it goes.
internal polls. Trust me, no one ever is like spending money on a poll on how we can get the Jewish electorate. Okay, that's not one of the places that any campaign is going to spend any significant of money ever in order to actually win anything. Okay, the only time you saw anyone build any sort of Jewish coalition was Mike freaking Bloomberg because he's a Jew and he wanted to be able to, satisfy his Jewish donor base and his friends and family. That's not part of any sort of ethnic media like strategy that Democrats or anyone tries to win. So,
thank you, Roy. What's up, Paul?
Hey, Jim.
Billy, I got you. What's up, Paul?
Hello, this is Bart. I am living in France. I live in the Jewish district. and I believe that the Jewish power in America is very powerful and that they do influence the elections. I do not agree with the former speaker.
How? Wait, everybody, wait. No, exactly. So, hold on. How exactly do they influence the elections? Please.
Because of Alex Soros, he controls the Dominion voting systems in your country.
Can I say something, Jay?
Of course, everyone.
So, honestly, as an American, it is so disrespectful for anyone to spew this type of anti-Semitism that we have such a paper tiger of a system in which any sort of group could garner feudalistic, cable-like monarchy-like project 2025 life. Let's scratch that from the record. I don't want to truffle it better to talk about Project 2025. But we're not stuff. It's not about the disgusting. It's about the fact that the whole New World Order type of rhetoric. If that's something that doesn't bother you or Good Samaritan energy does not, let your patriotism not allow such disgustingness to be spread. We do not have a system in which
I would like to respond, Jay, when she is finished.
Stop talking when I speak, sir. I speak. I think I deserve silence. So, as I was saying, it is disrespectful to us as Americans for anyone to even insinuate that we have such a corrupt system. Yes, it's one thing to critique our institutions, it's another one to question the sanctity of them or even like the viability of them on a molecular level. So this is fucked up. And so no, unless you actually can prove evidence of some sort of under the works web that is being influenced and has caused all of this stuff that the Jews can have power on choosing the American president, please prove it to me. But until that day, try to learn more and speak less.
Well, boy, hold on, Poet. I got you. Hold on, Poet. Boy, I just want to say I adore you. Poet, the mic is yours.
I will say his name one more time. It is Alex Soros, and you can go on Instagram to view his Instagram. It is Alex Soros. Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, the political power of your government is in bed with the son of the devil, George Soros.
Hold on, dude. Yeah, right. You doing okay?
This is some real anti-Semitic shit.
Yeah, it's also very delusional shit. Like not grounded in reality.
Pretty sure
Kyle,
cool,
Kyle.
Yeah.
This is some real Rothschild conspiracy bullshit. Richard made a point about that the Jews as a voting bloc can change the effect of the national election. No, that has never happened, and we're not enough of a voting bloc to be able to do that. Now there's an accusation that we control all the media, we control the voting machines, we control the Clintons, for God's sakes. I mean, how bad of a Jew hater can you be to think all of these crazy things? Go read a poem, maybe, instead of all this anti-Semitic crap.
Dude, and the way you're whispering is as if you're like trying to eat in the middle of Ramadan. What you even say is when you speak. Oh, the Soros, Mike, have you seen this? Have you seen that? Like, dude, be at least like, I just love it that really we're supposed to be like blown away by the fact that you were able to name 4 names. Mazel, wow, amazing. You were able to muster 4 world-renowned names that everybody and your mama fucking knows. Please, how original. I'm blown away, Jay, by the intellectualism. Truly flabbergasted.
Well, wait, hold on. Before I didn't want to boot him because I wanted to make this like nice, but Poet, why whispering.
I am not whispering. I am from France. This is the way we speak in Paris. I am here for the Olympics.
Oh, sorry to hear that. You sound like a troll. Are you one of those female boxers that are really men?
I believe that there should be trans rights in the Olympics and that there should be a third category known as trans because this controversy is damaging the trans movement.
You sound like Chicago.
How did he know?
Nice to see you, but here's the door.
How did he know? How did he know? He knew. He could tell.
First, we drop bottoms. That's why you
That would be
That's, yeah, that's why you raped half the planet. That's why the number one export that you had was independence fucking days.
We're all bottom.
British
So what's the
women
point of raping
do
can't
not
rape?
engage into anal sex. Yeah, they do a Cambridge first year, my favorite, instead.
Yeah, well, what's the number one export of UK? Independence days.
Well, actually, there's Jacob Rowling.
That's a good one. I've never heard.
Oh, that is actually kind of funny. Damn you.
Half of the fucking planet imported Independence days from the British.
I know, but they all speak in English, so we know what Independence Day means, and they actually coherent.
Yeah, that's funny that we are even speaking in English. How the fuck did you pull this one out? Like, make the whole
So
world
lazy.
be fucking...
No.
No interest.
There's
There's
nothing
nothing
there.
there.
Ginger, because English is so easy to learn.
That's true, yeah, that's really, really true. And also, when you fuck up, nobody knows, because it's so easy grammatically, so you can, like, pass. You can say...
You can speak the most atrocious pidgin
Yeah.
language, and people are still going to understand you somehow.
Is it
Yeah.
saying it's easy to... Requires quite a lot.
No, bullshit, bro, bullshit. I speak foul language.
Wait. No, seriously. Can we move on? Okay, anybody on the stage, can you please, anybody, I don't care, as long as it's not him, can you guys redirect this fucking room? Because it's not your room, chat troll. Why don't you go open up a room so you can babble to yourself all night long? And whoever wants to go follow him, that'd be great. Okay.
Well, I have something. We don't have to talk about this, but I just saw it on the local news. They said that Jacob Pritzker, who was governor of Illinois, is back on the short list, or is on the short list. He had his third interview with the vetting team, and he is quote on standby until he hears more. So I don't know if this is, just keeping the list broad so they can't figure out who it is. But
He's
I
Jewish.
saw this about 20 minutes ago.
He's Jewish. Is he not Jewish?
He's not Jewish, I don't think.
Pritzker is Jewish.
Yes, he's Jewish. That's the Pritzker family is Jewish.
So, I mean, what do we say? Because this is Shapiro Jewish?
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Inside, so with Kamala
But they do not live together. Kamala and her husband do not live together.
What? What?
They have an open marriage and the children are not hers. That is from his first marriage.
Is it a full moon? Let me go get up and go sit on the patio because it must be a full fucking moon.
You have
All
to
the
title
freaks
for
are out.
nothing.
You know who
The real
is
politic is that she is not black. She is an Indian woman, and that is the real politic.
And you an Indian man.
You don't kick this dude out of, come on now.
See what you did, Jean-Luc?
I didn't do anything. I gave you a suggestion.
And listen, let me tell you something, ladies on the stage and in the audience. This is what you get for listening to men, especially on a Friday night. All right? Well, nothing.
So if I told you to follow me to
Man, please don't attack me.
Now you're gonna try to say. Now Jean-Luc is gonna say, "See how they do you?" Then they're gonna try to play you. If I ask you to follow me to hell, will you follow me? It depends on what. It depends on what the fuck you got.
Something's wrong with you, Lisa.
So please do not play with me, Jean-Luc.
Yeah,
Because some men are worth following to hell, and you damn well know it. So don't play tonight. This is Friday night.
It is Friday night, and that is precisely why I'm going to stay quiet.
Mm-hmm. It's a full moon, I swear to God. So anyway, any ladies want to come up to the stage so we can talk? We can talk about Kamala. We can talk about her Jewish husband. We can talk about
the bitch slap.
the bitch slap. Which bitch slap?
The one J.D. Vance is getting by Simone Biles. Remember when she pulled out of the Olympics 4 years ago? He called her weak. What's he going to say about her now?
He's not going to say shit.
He ain't gonna say shit.
I did all that laundry and forgot to wash my favorite shirt. Bullshit. Bullshit. I haven't eaten today, and I worked out last night for 3 hours, so I'm delirious. Whew, I'm gonna fuck this macaroni and cheese up.
You ain't ate nothing all day.
I ate fruit because I'm doing my little slim down, my little lean mean fight machine shit.
I ain't ate till 2 o'clock today. I ate some salad, broccoli, and some white rice. Good. Right out today.
So I had avocado toast this morning, and then I had fruit all day, so I'm ready to fuck some.
I think I want to lose about 25 more pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
Be drunk around one.
Damn, gang. Why you tell anybody?
What's good, gang? How you?
Shorty looked good, too, gang. Shorty actually looked good. She was nice, thick. Oh, baby, boy.
I know I shouldn't have told her
You
I'm
should
gonna
have
get that.
said shit, gang. You should have held that in, bro, till you actually got it, nigga. Cause I'm not gonna lie, now that I know that you flag nigga slipped up, oh baby, I'm already on it. IG, what's up, sweetheart? Oh baby, I am, gang. I swear to God, I move so fast, G. Oh God, I do, boy. I move fast than a motherfucker.
By Wednesday?
That's crazy.
What's up, your ecstasy?
Baby.
Oh, no, whatever, man. I move so fast.
He was on that shit.
Man, oh God, as soon as boy, what was I?
You know, my boy Tato hit me up like, yeah, they try to fight with you like you
Did you look at this new story that she just put up in the mirror? Thick as fuck, God.
What, on the ground?
Oh, baby.
Are you a
Let y'all masturbate. I'll be back.
Fat ass, boy.
Yeah.
Damn, she bitch.
Yeah, I'm finna take a trip to the south.
Nah, man, shit.
Oh, God, boy.
What you said.
Mm-hmm.
He over there hard, so he just on that man try to ask it again. Hey, what be going right quick? One last time. That shit got him hurt. I sure ain't saying nothing yet.
Do you like books? Do you read books? What are your favorite books? What book are you reading right now? This is Books. Let's talk about books.
Vote in your Democratic primaries this year for Joe Biden and the Kamala Harris ticket, and then getting scammed by like Joe Biden dropping out of the race, and now it's the Kamala Harris plus whatever other white man that's younger than Joe Biden she can replace him with. That's a scam.
Josh Shapiro, big time Zion.
Josh Shapiro. So they voted for Biden and Harris. Biden at the top of the ticket, Harris below him on the ticket.
Yeah.
And then he was swapped out with Josh Shapiro. That's a scam.
So
You're now voting for Josh
Like,
Shapiro,
even if it's
even though you
not
thought you were voting for Biden.
a candidate dropping out of a race is a scam.
Wouldn't it
All right.
be? Wouldn't the point just
absolutely.
be that
That's stupid,
isn't your
bro.
messaging
The fuck?
failing? Isn't your attempts to try to
Listen,
like?
if you're so
get
stupid
black
that you
people
think
on your side,
Biden dropped out voluntarily under his own volition,
Florida, you're
no,
deflecting.
not yet. You haven't proven how it's a scam yet.
But I'm saying, like, even if it's not a scam, I think the point is that your messaging isn't working. Like, there is no black people participating in these events. Like, it's a bunch of people saying, like, blacks for Republicans, like, trying to get black people involved in your party, and it's not working. So even if it's not a quote-unquote scam on its face, it's like, y'all are easily gullible. Y'all think niggas want to be a part of y'all, and we don't as a group collectively. It may be some individuals, but it's like, it's not working. But y'all keep
there is no collective, man. The black movement is not a fucking it's not a uniform like what's the fucking word?
Monolithic.
It's not one. It's not monolithic. Thank you.
This just comes from. I think this comes from a sense of projection from Democrats who think that because black people have
a projection.
if it's not all black people, it's just there's no reason to acknowledge black people here because it's not 98% of black people here. The point of Black for Trump is not to say it's going to be a bunch of black people supporting Trump. It's to court the black people who do support Trump so they actually feel like they could actually say they do. Because it turns out there's actually, have you seen that there's actually people that have these rallies? And it's obviously black people. But if you know who Brandon Tatum is, then you probably know who the other people are. So you've probably seen. I don't know if you've seen footage. Yeah. So let me finish because Gorgeous just loves hogging mics because that's what he loves doing. So I could speak interrupted. Hi, Daddy. Thank you. The whole question's off a false premise because he's like, y'all being a scam. The black Republicans not really showing up to these rallies when the whole point of the Blacks for Trump thing is to just show that there's black people who are not afraid to show that they support Trump. And they are.
Also, if it's one black person or 100, at least they're being.
I know that. I just want to argue against black people not being a monolith because I think somewhere around 95% of them vote one particular way, I think. Which is to say, to not vote in that one particular way is rare.
What is a monolith?
You know what?
It's not what is a monolith, it's how is a monolith used with regards to the black community.
Yeah, I like how you're parsing words.
She said, we are a community, and then you said you're not a community, you're not a monolith. And that is dumb, because monolithic is just to speak on how we think as a diverse group of people, but we are a group of people.
Right, but a community does not have a monolithic thought. That was the point I was making.
But you said we're not a community. Majority thought.
No, it's not a monolithic thought movement.
Overwhelming majority. After the 8%, because you're not.
But even within that even within the black Americans that vote for Democrats, they don't even all agree on shit. There's some that are much further left than others.
I don't think you're addressing though what Gorgeous was talking about. I keep bringing it.
Yeah, I did. He said there was a scam going on, and I proved to him that scam was a terrible word to use.
You're right, Florida. I know you have a green bean, but it doesn't make you right.
I'm coercing with you, ma'am.
I can't hear no
conversing.
Conversing.
I can't hear.
I'm a little high.
Sing at the same time.
Can I add to the conversation?
Is that it?
So Gorgeous, do you acknowledge? Wait. Gorgeous, are you going to acknowledge what all of your other cohorts have acknowledged that white Republicans are not being scammed?
No, I'm not going to.
I want to contribute to that.
Okay, because it seems like they're all saying we're being scammed. You're going to stand 10 toes down on the fact that they are being scammed.
I'm going to say.
See, so this is where I'm going to continue to argue with him, ladies and gentlemen. If he's going to continue to say they're being scammed, I'm going to ask him for proof on how they're being scammed. And until we figure this
Florida, Florida, if anything, if they ran an advertisement, okay, and it was saying one thing, and when the folks get there, it's another, that's called bait and switch, okay? So someone can, if they wanted to, could challenge it if that were the case. So you can't just outright say it's not a scam. I'm not saying it's a scam, but I'm not saying that it isn't a scam either.
Wait, is what you're saying happened? Did that happen?
Well, I'm giving a scenario. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So then, like, what are we talking about here? We're just throwing hypotheticals out there. Like, if I throw shit at the ceiling and it sticks, did I put glue on the shit? I don't know.
You need a shot. You need a shot. You need a shot.
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, get you a shot, baby. I have one. Okay. So anyway, it could be bait and switch. That's what I just wanted to contribute, especially thinking the advertisement and the print. Gorgeous, is this a real scenario or is this hypothetical?
No, this is a real. This is all. Everything I'm saying is real. They want to get scammed. Just let them. Because
but you haven't proven how it is a scam.
But I mean, if you are being that obtuse where you don't realize that what we're describing is a scam, I don't know if I can help you. I'm coming to you here.
I don't know, bro. It sounds like you're just using some hyperbolic language. You're using some strong language to try to take this dude seriously.
My pure heart.
We made the
and you're rejecting it.
Hold on.
So would that be the Democrat Party, since they actually haven't done anything?
Oh, Brad.
It's okay because they don't care. They don't actually care. So that's why it's like their poor messaging. It really is. They're not getting it. They're not getting what they're saying. They're just like, it's not a scam. It's not a scam. Like, that's not.
It's not. Hold up. What? Neat. Do you understand?
It's no different than a scam that
you can keep up the conversation. That's not me saying that it's not a scam. It's Gorgeous saying that it is a scam, and I've asked him to show how it's a scam, and he's unable to justify it.
I feel like
y'all are just
like a great one-to-one Ponzi scheme, and that's not what Gorgeous is saying.
No, the entire point is that it's a dumb criticism, because the whole thing, Gorgeous is saying there's not enough black people here, so it's a scam. The whole thing about Blacks for Trump, it's organized by black people because they're trying to show black people that if you want to support Trump, you can do it openly. That's the entire point. If you're going to complain that white people are showing up to these rallies, it doesn't fucking matter. That's not the point. You're framing this as if they're telling people, come to this free black person show so you can see 1,000 black people. That's not the fucking point of this, bro. Like, the fuck are you talking about?
That Kamala's doing white dudes for fucking Kamala. White girls for fucking Karen for this, white gay guys for this, Asian Martians for this, illegal immigrants for this.
We actually showed up.
Oh yeah, okay, you showed up, Black George showed up.
Yeah, and I will be in election. I will be working the polls.
I know you working.
We already know that.
Fully aware you work polls.
Yes.
George, can you do me a favor? Can
Anyway,
you restate your argument? Because I didn't hear it.
Please don't acknowledge me.
Can you just restate the argument?
Why? He's a black man. Aren't you like concerned he might go to the black for Republican thing?
Listen, my fellow gentlemen, my brothers in Christ.
Did you hear Kamal accidentally released fucking
Please, go ahead.
The argument, George.
I just want to say, you guys don't understand that this is both a grift and a scheme.
Wait, so you mean like
what's the argument? Do we want to hear the argument? Gorgeous, you remember that girl that had the MAGA hat and was on Twitter talking about, I can't go to school because I'm a black Republican? Yeah. They don't get it. That girl that's the whole point. Like, no, black people don't be
Do you guys understand how incredibly easy it is to scam Republicans, especially?
They're so gullible. They're very
scam, George? What's the scam?
We're asking for the argument. Can we please have the argument? Please, nobody interrupt him.
Thank you. So all I'm saying is, listen, it is, of course, my opinion that this is a scam, okay? This is not something that I'm saying in fact, but this is a scam to me because, in my opinion, when you have events as it relates to Blacks for Trump and as it relates to Brexit, and other organizations like that. I know there are several others, but they don't have as much. They don't have the legs that these two organizations have. When you host events and there's nothing but white people, maybe one or two black people, to me that is a scam. That's a grift. Okay, it's a grift. Somebody is standing to profit from selling the idea that black people are supporting Trump. You can agree with me. You don't have to agree with me.
Gorgeous not know what an argument is?
So hold on, Gorgeous, what you're saying. So what you're saying is you're saying that when, just so I can understand, you're saying that when candidates host events specifically for, let's say, blacks for Trump, right, and then only white people show up, you're saying that's this.
Right. If it's because you're buying the tickets.
So Black Lives Matter was a scam then.
Excuse me. I was speaking to be Matt.
Wasn't that a bunch of white people with skateboards?
Excuse me, straight man. I want to speak to B Master.
Gorgeous can't do.
B Master, it's obvious that he does believe that it was a scam. Gorgeous, the more important question here is, what is your definition of a scam in general?
In this case, I would say it's more on the lines of, okay, you're selling an idea of something, right? Which the idea in this case is that black people are going to be at this event supporting this cause for Republican or conservatism, right?
No, that's not what I'm asking. What is your definition of a scam?
I'm defining it.
No, you're telling me why you think this was a scam. But what's the definition of a
I'm
scam?
trying to do both. So to me, the definition of a scam is when you say one thing, or you're selling an idea of something that is not the reality of what you're selling, right?
Okay, so like to deceive.
Yeah, it's being deceptive.
Okay, great. We can work off of that. Now, what is the definition of deception?
Well, goddammit, is this Webster?
Well, no, because the point that I'm trying to make here, Gorgeous, is like the only way that you're going to be Gorgeous, my point is this. The only way that you're going to be able to prove that these white Republicans were being deceived, that they were going to show up to an event that was going to have a ton of blacks there on fucking display for them. Gorgeous, just wait. The only way you're going to be able to prove that these white Republicans were being deceived is if you had some sort of like claim that they made themselves that they thought they were going to receive A, but then they received B.
You're not getting it.
They thought that A was true, and then it wasn't.
Deception, one question at a time. Deception is the act of intentionally misleading someone into believing something that is not.
Right. Now, you are only going to be able to confirm if they were intentionally misled if number one, you know the intent of the organizers, and number two, you get the conviction from these people themselves that they were misled.
Listen.
I don't need to do. Gorgeous. He's looking for a Ponzi scheme. Like he's not getting it on purpose.
Yeah.
He's not getting it on purpose.
No, you're being obtuse. You're being loose with your language, and you're being.
They're literally.
You're being rhetorical.
They're not being
rhetorical.
They're actually not making an argument.
They're not actually making an argument.
You're the only person.
That doesn't sound weird to anybody. Like the
what is this called? Special please.
Like Megan is selling and twerking at Kamala's speech.
It's funny. Can I read from the Wikipedia page? Because the whole thing it says Black Voices for Trump. So George's complaint is that it's a scam because there wasn't enough black people at the rally, and that they were trying to make it seem as if it was going to be 100 bajillion black people all dancing in one accord. When the actual Wikipedia page says Black Voices for Trump was to raise awareness of black people who would support Trump. So the proposition that they're saying is that their job is to raise awareness for black people who are willing to support Trump out openly. Curious George here is saying that because there wasn't 1,100 black people there, that they were scamming them because their actual fundraising was not there. So that's his argument.
No, he's intentionally
increase awareness.
He's trying to rephrase what my intention was. And I don't need a straight man explaining what my intentions are. I'm capable of doing that myself.
Sorry, bro. Sorry.
Please do, because I'm confused. Please do.
Okay, so I just want to answer Florida's question first before we go on a tangent with Dope. So, Florida, what you're doing right now is a burden of proof fallacy. It's a fallacious attempt to create this like nefarious sense of burden that I have to meet in order to prove something is correct. That's not going to work on me, sir. And like I said, you don't have to believe that this is a scam. In my opinion, it's a scam. They're selling the idea that there's all these black people that are voting for Republicans, and they're not. And white people are the ones.
Wait. Gorgeous, are you okay?
Scam. Pocket baby, I am very okay. Anybody in this room can go on YouTube and go and just search a Brexit event. You're gonna see majority white people at these events. These events are for black people who are Republican. If you don't see that that's a scam, I can't help you. I can't help you, and it no wonder why Trump is able to take advantage of you guys in the way that he's able to take advantage of you, because you're not being.
Trump must not give you a baby sister when he was with your mommy. Is that what your reason is?
Listen, I know.
I figured as much. First off, there are literally millions of black people that voted for Trump. What the fuck is wrong with your fucking own math? Secondly, you have these events that welcome absolutely everybody. They don't give a fuck what color skin. They do it for awareness. They did it for the Hispanics. They did it for Asians. They did it for a whole group of fucking people, women, etc. Go down the list. Very similar to what your dipshit fucking cum-tard fucking former fucking, I don't know, on her knees fucking candidate did when she's hosting all these Zoom events.
Wow.
We got to defeat the orange man. When she sat there and said Asians and white people and black women and black men. Oh, by the way, only 10,000 of them showed up for that event. So I would be interested in what your fucking line in the sand is about fucking numbers. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you're just talking shit. And everyone sees it.
I'm looking here,
And let me know if you want to come to this Black for Republicans.
Let me ask you this. I'm looking at a Pew Research article.
Not Pew Research on this. I'm sure it's not on the Brexit.
Oh, no, not on Brexit in general. No, more broadly on black voters' views on Biden, Trump, and election 2024.
Yeah, no.
And this was only published a couple of months ago in May.
Can you share the link?
Yeah, sure. Give me a second.
Yeah, it's I actually know the link he's talking about. It shows that
you don't read.
In the 2024 it was literally in like March of this year, they polled black people, and it turns out that of black people below the age of 60, so from 18 to 59, 29% of them said they preferred Trump over Biden. So that's hilarious to me. That's fucking hilarious.
That's what I'm looking at here, right? And yeah, I have it here. So I'm gonna post it for you. I'm gonna post it for you right up top so we can all follow along. But then I'd like to make the point that I'm gonna make. All right, if that's cool with you, right? That'd be great. Thanks. Yeah. So black voters that are aligned with the Democratic Party versus the Republican Party, it's 83-12. Okay, so it's overwhelmingly Democratic. However, if your understanding of the historic black vote over the last 5 decades and my understanding of the historic black vote over the last 5 decades are the same, that's largely almost 1.5 times greater than it has historically been for the last 5 decades. It's only been about 8% Republican leaning over the last 5 decades.
Bush got up to 20, I believe. It was 20% for Bush. So
yeah. So Brad. The percentage of black voters who would vote for Biden or Trump if the election was held, and granted this was back in August, right? Unfortunately, we don't have newer numbers yet based on Kamala, but 18% were saying that they would vote for Trump over Biden. And furthermore, as I scroll down a little bit, yeah, the interesting part of the metric is under the age of 50, almost 30% of black voters would lean towards voting for Trump. So it's only the old heads that are left in your own fucking demographic.
Really?
Yeah, and it's black men are more likely to vote for Trump as well at 20% compared to 16% of women.
You do understand that in black intellectual spaces, there's a lot of critiques on mainstream.
Even in black intellectual spaces, though, it's actually a pretty fair split. 17% with a college degree and 18% without a college degree.
I just want to finish. The data is flawed when it comes to, that's actually discussed quite.
You were going to tell me that Pew Research Center has flawed data.
Pew first does.
And I'm going to tell you to go to their methodology and show me where you, as a professional statistician, would fix their methodology. Because Pew Research Center is considered the gold standard of research.
Right. So, where in this Pew Research article is it saying that black people are leaning for Trump?
That wasn't anything close to what I said.
That's not what he said at all. He literally said
No, that's not what he said. That's not what he
This
said.
nigga is retarded. Let's move on.
Jordan, that's not what he said at all. I'm not even Republican. Please relax. You're safe. Nothing's happening to you.
I like your hair. You might as well be a Republican.
It's AI stuff.
Don't insult her. Who the hell
you wear this style because it's,
you know what?
Well, you've been talking for like a really long time, so it kind of gets hard to like even jump in. So who is saying that?
Fucking smack him. No, why don't you? Shut
You've been talking for a while, so I just wanted to jump in.
God, why don't you go for it, George? What do you got? All I've heard you say is some stupid shit while you like to go.
Hey, I just wanted to have a conversation with Florida.
No, you didn't. You want
to sit
there and
jump off the mic.
I don't give a fuck. You attacked her. She didn't do anything. She's been defending you, you dumbass. I told her to shut the fuck up.
Brad,
Shut your fucking.
just shut the fuck up. That's not an
Why
attack.
don't you just get the fuck going? Because you haven't won any debate. You haven't won anything. Why don't you just take that leap off the bridge and just do one of the things? But you know what? Here's what I want you to do. Stop targeting fucking children. Stop fucking going after that. Because you are that fucking dumbass. Because no, you are. You sat there cheering on for the Olympic ceremony.
I didn't even watch the Olympics. You think I watched the Olympics?
Brad is so unhinged. We get it. You're homophobic. Can we move on? Like, what the fuck? We waste time every time Brad want to talk because you're not adding to the conversation. You're just adding homophobia. Frankly, you don't have an argument either. So can we move on?
Really, I don't. I just
exactly. You don't have one either. So why are you calling out? Why are you for not having one if you don't have one for homophobia? Shut up too. Like I don't like people that just like to talk because I don't insult none of y'all. Shut up and have an argument or no. Florida, you have something to add again?
Yeah, I do. I'll add one more thing.
Stupid.
He really does.
It's okay. I'm sorry about that, guys. The last thing I'm going to say is, regardless, honestly, it doesn't matter if the black Americans vote 100% for the Democrats. At the end of the day, the population size of the black American vote is so small that it would probably barely move the needle.
That's all it takes to win an election. That small black population. But really quickly, I wanted to say that Tali, and I have nothing against you, I still love you, but you said 95% of blacks vote Democrat. And right now, 25% of black men are Trump-leaning. 16 to 17% of black women are Trump-leaning. This is more than any other Republican presidential candidate in recent years in our fucking lifetime. This is the most amount of black people leaning Republican for our entire lifetime. I think that is a Blexit. That's all I wanted to say. My hand hurted from raising it for so fucking long. Just to
Oh no, I was playing a game.
I was arguing
and
with
I do want to
Georgia,
say that I love all the moderators, but you motherfuckers crazy. That's for sure. Y'all don't do none of the logistics.
No.
I'm sorry, I was arguing with Gorgeous. I'm sorry.
All you do is
shit ain't gonna work. Okay, so I have been playing games on my phone, so no, I haven't been watching for people raising their hands.
I'm sorry, I've been fighting with
I will
Gorgeous.
leave the 5
do your fucking job.
It's okay, Tali.
I'll go pull my resource, but I think the stat I was looking at
was from actual voting patterns, not the polling.
Okay.
Because as has been witnessed on this stage, and they piss me off with this, they'll have a lot to say about politics, but they won't go out and do their civic duty because they don't actually care. But
that's what
that's
actually the context that I wanted to add, because I was rudely interrupted by a straight man. And I wanted to say that when it comes to polling is quite racist, because when we look at white voters, we break things down by like people's propensity to actually go out and vote, etc. But there's been like a blind spot when it comes to minority groups in these areas. So you can go out and poll a whole bunch of black people. It doesn't mean that these people are registered to vote. It doesn't mean that they're actually likely voters versus registered voters. Some polls control for that, but a lot of them don't. And especially when it comes to black voters, we think black voters are monolithic. So yeah, you can poll a whole bunch of black men at the barbershop, but it doesn't mean that they're representative of black men in general.
Yeah,
so that's the issue they've been having. So a lot of the black intellectual spaces, they have polling companies that are specifically for black people. So they only poll black people. And the lowest estimates for Biden was at 19% for Trump. So it's a very stark difference between mainstream polling and actual polling for black people.
Did he really just say polling is racist, bro?
Can I jump in real quick? I want to jump in real quick.
Before I accept his critique of the methodology of black polling in totality, I want him to read the polling methodology of the Pew Research article that I shared and determine if that meets the criteria for the racism that he's proclaiming. Because this specific article, I don't think does. Go ahead.
Okay.
Thanks. So I was curious about what Gorgeous was saying. Gorgeous, could you mute your mic? I'm getting feedback. Sorry.
Sorry.
No problem. I just can't handle that. Sorry. So I was
talking George.
Oh, sure. Thank you. So I was curious about what he was talking about, because that was concerning to me. About the hosting a Black American event for Trump and having a bunch of white people show up. And I don't think that it's necessarily a scam, but obviously it was interesting enough for me to look into it. So apparently what happened was he had an event and he was going to talk at some, what was it? It was a conservative conference in Detroit. And on his way, it was sort of like an impromptu for a reach out. And it was at a local Black church. He wasn't invited. The pastor made sure to say that he didn't invite him, Pastor Sewell, which was pretty funny when they were interviewing him about it. He said, but everyone's allowed, at the church, I think, whether you have convictions or not. But the point is that, yeah, go ahead.
The pastor's not allowed to invite a political figure to the church.
Oh, okay. Well, it's in
direct violation of the 501c3 stuff.
Okay, thank you, Florida. I appreciate that. He was, for whatever reason, he felt that it was necessary to let everybody know that he didn't invite it. He wasn't invited.
Because it would have invalidated the 501c3s.
Okay. I think it was also, though, to let people know that he wasn't reaching out to Donald Trump in any way, or he didn't have any type of connection.
Because an endorsement of a political figure is a violation of the 501c3 status.
Yo, Florida, are you high, bro?
I think. Thanks. Yeah. So I hope everyone can pick up what I'm putting down anyway, regardless, read between the lines. So it was just, all it was a reach out. And I feel that, in and of itself, campaigning, I've been on plenty of campaigns, there's no scam there. If it was like a pre-hosted event where there's tickets and all this other stuff, yeah, I probably would be with Gorgeous on that. But this seemed just like a random reach out to just try to get people
in the area to come and try to get accustomed to him and talk to him and whatever else. So I don't see any issue with that. And also, I don't know if you guys are interested. Yeah, hold on one more second. I don't know if you guys are interested. You can let me know. I went and I found the clip from Trump. He was actually he was invited to the Black Association of Journals of like journalists or something along those lines. And anyway, it's about 2 hours in, I found the 2-minute clip of him responding specifically on the panel. This was 2 days ago about the Sonia Massey thing, and I do understand what Gorgeous was talking about. If you guys want to.
Thank you, B. Besser. I think you are coming in good faith. So I love to engage with you, and I just wanted to say that I was referring to specifically that while that is one of the reasons why I'm saying that, but the Black church event, that was a disaster. It was nothing but white people. It was mostly white people in there and like 5 Black people there. But that wasn't really what I was referring to. I was referring to the Lexit event. Lexit has their own, oh shit. Okay, wow. Lexit has their own like set of events. At least they did in the 2017, 2018 era. I think they've kind of transformed into something else now. So I don't know if they're still calling themselves Lexit. I don't know if they're just purely Black for Trump or whatever. But when I was looking into this, they have several events. They did like several city tours. And when you look at the videos, you see majority white people. And so this is a trend. This is something to me that spells out a trend, because you have these quote unquote Black Republicans spearheading and being the face of these events, giving this impression that there's going to be a whole bunch of Black people that support conservative causes. And we've had these type of, just as a critique to the polling, every election cycle, there's this conversation about Black men. We were having this conversation in 2022, and Black men overwhelmingly voted for the Democratic Party. It was like 86% here, I think it was 84% here in Georgia. I'm in a swing state. So if we're going to see Black men like deviate from the Democratic Party, I think we should be the first to see it here in Atlanta, and it's not the case. Probably because Black men like me, because I'm still Black, I'm still a man, vote Democratic. But the bottom line is, I just wanted to say that those were the events that I was talking about.
If I could say something real fast, I watched the interview with Donald Trump talking about Sonia Massey, and I think it's misconstrued with what he said. She literally asked him, why would you grant this type of officer immunity? And he said, I don't know the exact case, but I saw something. I didn't like it. We need to bring respect back to our officers. We need to make sure that they're taking care of the people.
And he said,
I literally
hold on. Water, right? So
hold on, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on, yeah. He literally said, you're talking about the water. She said, yes. He said, we need to bring respect back to the police. We need to make sure the police are taking care of us. He said, and I saw something, and I didn't like it. I saw something, I didn't like it. You never, ever condone giving this man immunity. He literally said, I saw something, I didn't like it. It was wrong. So do not do this shit where you say, oh, he said a few weeks ago.
You guys want to just hear it? I have it queued up. We can play it. Please. Yeah,
Go right here so we can hear
full context. Here we go.
Sorry?
It's very clear. I hear you.
Okay, so Sonia Massey, someone from Illinois, an unarmed woman, was shot the other day in her home by a deputy sheriff. The deputy has since been charged with murder. You said police would get immunity for prostitution if you win. Why should someone like that officer have immunity, in your opinion?
Immunity? I don't know the exact case, but I saw something, and it didn't look good to me. Are you talking with the water, right?
Yeah. Well, police unions are not backing this per se either. But again, why would
they're going to be charging the officer? I guess they're charging the officer.
So why should he receive immunity?
Well, you might not. I mean, it depends. It depends on what happens. I'm talking about people that are much different cases than that. We need people to protect ourselves. And by the way, in Chicago, as an example, a few weeks ago, July 4th weekend, we had 117 shootings and 17 deaths. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. We need to have our police officers have the respect and dignity back. In this particular case, I saw something that didn't look good to me. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
So, can you get a little more specific back to the immunity question? Who would make those cases?
Well, right now, for the most part, people are protected by their unions, by their police unions, or by their police departments. But I'm saying if I felt, or if a group of people would feel that somebody was being unfairly prosecuted because the person did a good job maybe with crime, or made a mistake, an innocent mistake. There's a big difference between being a bad person and making an innocent mistake. But if somebody made an innocent mistake, I would want to help that person.
What would those expenses?
What would determine somebody, and it's a very close call, and it's very dangerous, and they have.
It's almost done.
The policeman's life, and woman, is a very difficult thing because sometimes you have less than a second to make a life and death decision, and sometimes very bad decisions are made. They're not made from an evil standpoint, but they're made from the standpoint of they made a mistake.
I want to follow up really quickly. So that was the whole thing.
No, gorgeous, hold on, because we've already heard your take on it. You think that Donald Trump said that this man deserves immunity, and I definitely didn't hear him say that. I heard him say explicitly that this man may not receive immunity. Did anybody else in the room hear Donald Trump say that this man deserves immunity? And at what point did anybody at all hear him say that he deserves immunity?
Nobody. Curious George.
It's Gorgeous did.
All right, Gorgeous. It's one versus the stage. Go ahead.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. I'll be on my square and I'll be correct. I just want to say this. I don't anticipate for white people and Black Republicans to understand racism. And I understand that you guys are coming at it from an experience that you don't have. But what he just said was that they're making innocent mistakes. Okay? He watered down.
We're not all white.
I want to be able to finish. I want to be able
but we're not all white, right?
Pocket, babe. Pocket.
Just making sure.
I don't know who's white and who's not. People have cartoons as their photos. I mean, I don't. But the bottom line is, when it comes to this particular issue, he watered down the actions of, if anyone saw that video, he watered down the actions of that officer to an innocent mistake.
Pastor, can you rerun the part of the clip where he makes the distinction between making an innocent mistake and being a bad person?
Play back again. Let's just play it back again.
You see how you guys do it. You see how you don't like our position.
Gorgeous,
you just
didn't
like
hear the part where he said, I didn't like it.
He said he didn't like it, but
and that he was talking about he was talking about people very different.
But he didn't specify the issue.
Yes, he did.
The reason why that is problematic.
Literally specified.
Io, can you just not speak to me? I was talking to Shiva.
Yeah, let's let the Black people do this.
Not the Black people. Wow. Okay, so I just wanted to say that he didn't specify. I know other people want to force that in. He didn't specify who he was referencing when he said he didn't like this. And that's part of the problem, is that he seemed really out of touch with this situation. He also started by saying he wasn't really quite familiar with the situation, which is something Trump always does to deflect away from the actual conversation itself. And then he tried to deflect to talking about Chicago. The journalist brought him back on subject and said, well, what about the immunity piece? And then he said, well, you never know. It depends.
Gorgeous,
and then he started talking about,
Do you want to listen
Yeah,
to it
please.
again?
Let's listen to it again.
Okay, everything that's gonna play out.
It's not going to change his mind at all.
Yeah.
I agree with Brad. It's not
No,
gonna
I mean, you guys are not going to change your mind. Nothing is racist.
He's gonna cry like a
So it's very
gorgeous. It's important for you to know that there are this stage
someone
is
has a bull, unless someone
wants to
I know, Brad. I know. This stage is full of a diverse group of thought, gorgeous. It's not just black Republicans in this room. I know that Tali's not a black Republican.
I wasn't.
Miss Fifi's definitely not a black Republican. Concrete's definitely not a black Republican. Dominic is most definitely not a black Republican. So I didn't hear any of these non-Republican blacks make the same claim that you're making.
We're not doing the ad populum thing. Just play. Either you're gonna play.
You don't get to tell him what he's going to do or not. You're just sitting there trying to dictate it. No. Who the fuck are you? You ain't nobody. Who the fuck are you, Brad? Get that voice up there. Squeeze those balls a little bit.
Who the fuck are you,
balls
Brad?
a little bit more. I mean, at the end of the day, you try to strike some bullshit.
What are you gonna do?
You have some bullshit that's out there. You don't have it. You are. I'm the man who's stopping you from doing stupid shit.
You're stopping.
Oh no, Concrete ran because he can't even defend you right.
Yeah, he can. Nobody wants to defend you.
You're the man
that's fucking wrong you are.
You're the man that's what did he say?
I'm gonna go ahead and say, well, let's change the subject a little bit because we talked about black people, right?
So Dominic, just to be clear, you definitely did not misinterpret what Trump said to mean that this guy deserves immunity, did you?
Yeah, no, I'm on your side.
Okay.
But I just read an article about Brexit. They actually paid black people to attend their rallies. So that's that, right?
So did Meg Thee Stallion. They like all campaigns do that though. Like every campaign does it for events and people and like
politician. Where you from?
I mean, that's shameful. I'll accept that. That's shameful, right? I don't like the idea that there are people that get paid to show up to these things as pawns, right? Just like, the same thing is true all over the political spectrum. I criticize it when I see it one place. I'll criticize it when I see it anywhere, right? Like the majority of these loud anti-Israel protesters that show up and do horrible protests, like the ones that were bussed into Washington, D.C., these people are being funded by Iran and George Soros for the most part. So I'll concede to that. Right, like people that fund things for the sake of making a political point and having people show up to do things. I don't like.
I gotta see a source on that one, bro. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying I've never seen anything that speaks.
But if the source came from like a Jewish source, you would probably discredit it, right?
No, any source.
I just want to say, determining whether or not something is racist is not, I'm not going to be convinced by someone of the likes of Brad or Florida. I mean, I heard a lot of...
Great, and let's keep the racism up then. If that's racist, let's keep it. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it up. Where's the tiki torches?
There are plenty of black people who share the sentiments that I feel.
Someone get me a fucking watermelon. I'm going to eat this.
What? Okay. Why are you talking about watermelon? Maybe because I'm black. But
I'm just dying for water.
You're thirsty? Okay. Anyhow, with that, I just want to say there are a lot of people who share the same feelings I have. So I was trying to explain to people who may not be aware that people had their reaction. Now, you don't have to think it's racist. That's fine. And that's that. God bless you for it.
I will say, I don't want to poison the well, but if anyone's interested, I could probably post a link. It was called the National Association of Black Journalists Conference. It was held in Chicago.
Whoa!
to watch. I have to say, like, it started off rough. Like, he got into almost a feud with one of the journalists because he felt, and this is interesting, this would be interesting for every side. He felt that he was brought there on false pretenses and that he was cornered and tied down and unfairly asked questions that were just unfair, and he was very verbal about it. And so, like, the crowd, as he's going back and forth with the first journalist, everyone's like, oh, is it like the whole time? It was
that's why they were like, this nigga's wilding. Like, he kept referring to it as the lady or this woman.
Yeah, he was frustrated about how she and he explained it. He feels that he was just,
a lot of people, you guys have to realize, a lot of people don't trust Trump, right? Like, a lot of people read Trump as a liar. So I don't trust I don't trust Trump's account of the event, right? Like, so I don't think that there was reporting that came out saying that Trump was upset because they were fact checking. And so, he was probably pissed about that, right? But we don't really know. And I think Trump does this appeal to ignorance thing a lot, because he knows that we weren't there to witness all these events. So he tries to fill in the blanks. He does that a lot, in my opinion. Yeah,
You're literally appealing to ignorance by saying that. You know that, right? You're literally appealing to ignorance. That's the ironic part.
I'm not appealing to ignorance.
He's just spewing ignorance.
I don't even think you know what that means.
No, you're saying we don't know if Trump was saying the truth when he said they're showing up 35 minutes late.
Yeah, that's not appealing.
By saying there'd be another person there. We don't know if he's saying the truth, so maybe he's.
I'm not appealing to ignorance. That's not what that means. Try again.
Yeah. So, Dominic, I just posted up top. You'll see a Politico article. Thank God it's not some sort of like directly Jewish related source specifically, because I know that would have been met with a lot more criticism than something like Politico, for example. But in the second paragraph of the article, it says explicitly, the donors of these movements include some of the biggest names in Democratic circles, such as Soros, Rockefeller, J.D. Pritzker.
Beaver, how am I dumb when you can't spell gorgeous?
So BMO was interrupted earlier, and I wasn't sure if she was finished. But before you go, BMO, Tally, weren't we supposed to listen to this in Discord together? This interview, or was it something else?
So I found out about the Caribbeans for Harriets, and of course I had to jump in as I like to assert my Caribbeanness, even though I am not Caribbean. So I streamed that instead. It's still on the calendar. We can do it whenever. It's only like 36 minutes long.
Should we do it in here now? Is there
36 minutes is a long time to keep these people's attention and also keep them.
No, I would break after every 5 minutes to see if people had commentary.
Oh, you mean like do a question by question segment?
Yeah, you know how we sometimes do that for a reason.
I mean, we could, if the room is interested, then and there aren't many objections, I wouldn't mind at all.
Yep. Here's another link from The Hill about how actors tied to Iran's government are helping finance anti-Israel protesters, according to U.S. intelligence. You're welcome, Tom.
You know, Florida, I'm going to say this. I find this really incredibly funny because you have people like Curious George there, or by Curious George, or whatever he's going by these days. Sit there and say that, how these people, they support it, and black people don't need white people, and he said this on the stage today. But it's funny, the candidate that the Democrats needed couldn't win 2020. She actually, in fact, needed a white man to get into her position, which was maybe off her knees, I don't know, and then figure out to put her on the campaign schedule. Because again, this woman, despite Trump and all this shit, she has the most unfavorable rating in the history of politics. Like Andrew fucking Jackson doesn't have a worse record. Who doesn't have a worse favorability rating? This woman does. She beats Joe Biden on this shit. So obviously, contrary to Curious George's, schematics there, or however he wants to look at it, a white man definitely needed to help this particular woman get up and get into a position of fucking power, in which case, she is now pandering to every demographic saying, black people for Trump, Caribbean people for Trump, that one's going to be funny as fuck, and then white people for Trump. And at the end of the day, he's going to stand on here and say that, hey, black people going for Trump, or black Republicans, or Brexit, or any of these other political, that's a scam. But the dipshit doesn't see what the scam was that was right there, because while preaching democracy, you ain't fucking had it. You didn't have it. Kamala's not Democratic. That bitch is not elected Democratic. She was put into that position by a white man.
Man, shut the fuck up. Damn.
Well,
the misogyny is so unnecessary, bro.
But I mean, look, Brad's not alone there. Lion says the same thing.
Talking, right?
I'm sorry, but Monica, is it related to what we're talking about?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Miss Fee disagrees with Brad. Miss Fee has reasons for disagreeing. Do you want to share them, Miss Fee?
Go ahead, Miss Fee.
No?
I'm sorry. I can't right now.
Okay. All right. Dominic?
Question. Why every time you refer to Kamala, you have to, call her name, disrespect the last name? Why can't you just criticize her on her merits?
I love that question. Anyone want to answer?
Sure. Yeah, Monica, I don't need you to mod. You're not a mod, so don't even worry about it. At the end of the day,
somebody needed to tell him shut the fuck
up. So here's the issue. For 8 fucking years, every time someone brought up conservative idealism or talked from a conservative lens or identified as Republicans, you people on the left, yes, you individuals, demonized, vilified, shot them up, killed them, attempted to assassinate them, ran them over, fucking chased gay men through the street that were gay Republicans, Brandon Strucker, case in point, threatening to murder him. And for 8 years, the right has had to tolerate these actions. And then you sit there and go, why do I have to pick on him? Because you know what? I'm done being nice. I don't really care what Comstein wants to fucking say in her speech. She hasn't sat down for an interview. She hasn't formulated a policy. And her background, despite holding key positions, has been ineffective in fucking any aspect. 141 pieces of legislation in her career, 0 brought into fruition. 0. She has accomplished absolutely nothing outside of being a token for the white man who trotted her ass out while she happily did it, while she cackled her way to a podium when he made a flub about a racist remark. That's what it was. And the fact that she has done actually nothing as a VP outside saying abortion rights, when in fact her and her boss, the P to her VP, had Senate and Congress and could have actually put up reproductive rights like you claim she really wants to, which indicates she's fake as fuck, she's lying, and she's pandering to your votes. And you guys swallow it hook, line, and sinker, and then scream, I'm the racist, I'm the bigot, when you get used over and over and over again by the same fucking party that actually has done nothing except tell you, you aren't black if you don't vote for me. There you go. That's why I call her name.
Alright, yo, so who are you voting for, Brad?
Right now, I'm forced to go with Trump at this point.
You mean the liar in chief? Right?
Good one. Good one, dude.
He has lied 2 times as any other candidate that you can name. I promise you.
No, that's not true.
Florida, you're a son of a bitch. That's my feedback.
Islam, you are a goat fucking faggot. You are a goat fucking faggot. You are a towel head. Picnic on your head. Have it, motherfucker. Picnic on your head. Have it, bitch.
You're a side supporter.
Girlfriend is a gold.
Piece of shit. You are a fucking piece of shit.
You are a piece of shit. You are a piece of shit. I will kick your dog. I will kick your dog.
everybody hates you.
Kick my dog.
Everybody want like
Kick your dog.
It's the state of Nathan that
I will fuck you. I will bomb you.
Ugly.
I will bomb
You don't have a girlfriend. Nobody likes you. You're fucking racist. That's what you say. Your mother was a bitch like you, Gotti.
All right, thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Thanks for the break,
Who's
Islam.
Anyway, so this is a question for the room, I guess. Do you think Kamala is more of a liar than Donald Trump?
I don't think she has the capabilities. If you listen to what she says, there was a playback of one of her things, like,
Can I take a stab at it?
was nonsense.
Trump
Go
has
ahead.
actually given more loans to black people.
I think that she's more of a liar and Trump is more of an exaggerator. But people tend to confuse exaggeration with lie. And I think that's unfair, considering what we saw in this room earlier, for example, where Gorgeous was making the claim that white Republicans were being scammed by the Blexit movement. And I asked him to legitimize that claim, and he was unable to do so with justification that it was a scam. But nobody but me wanted to actually call him out on that, as though he was lying. He was exaggerating, and y'all were okay with it. It's an interesting double standard.
I'm not sure if we were okay with it. I mean, I was definitely curious. I wanted to know what he was talking about, especially because I've worked on so many campaigns over such a wide range of different types of offices. I was even on a presidential campaign. So I was very curious because there could have been so many issues, whether there was a failure for outreach, whether it was potentially an exploit of just, here's a good opportunity to have the public perceive something that there's not. There was a lot that it was interesting. That's all I'll say. But I'm glad that you pushed it because I'm glad that we were able to explore it.
But yeah, so anyways, what I've noticed is most politicians lie, right? Most of them lie about things that are very subtle, that they don't think they're going to get called out for. Trump is exaggerating about things that you can easily fact check and determine for yourself if it was 100% truthful or not, and then consider his rhetoric around the entire thing and say, hey, is this something that a reasonable person might do when, like, overwhelmed with emotion? Could somebody exaggerate claims? Absolutely.
Listen to an example of Kamala, her interactions with people. The reporter says, you're the border czar, you haven't been to the border. We've been to the border. You haven't been to the border. We've been to the border. You have not been to the border. I haven't been to Europe.
That was a Lesser Holt interview.
Did I represent it adequately?
Yes, and even he was mad at her. And he went and continued on and even did a follow-up after that saying, yes, she was incorrect.
Then she went to Europe, and then she went to the border, but not the parts of the border that were in crisis.
No, she went to El Paso. That wasn't the border.
You guys want to go down the list of things that Trump claimed he did that he didn't do?
Rather back Friday.
We don't have, but we could.
We could do that and Dominic, I appreciate that. And
it's on a gold toilet, right? So.
I mean, and Dominic, I appreciate that. And for anyone that's like super interested, I was at a point where I wanted to know those things too, but I have to tell you, after you spent your time looking and being actually interested in truly in understanding who said what, and not only who said what and didn't do it, who said what and lied, who said what and promoted something and let it fail or didn't support it the way that they said. I mean, there's so many things, but that is the same with every politician. I've never found a single politician that you cannot find, that you cannot show a long list of things that have been lied, that have not been fulfilled, that have been promised and not fulfilled.
I mean, there's a difference between failure to put forth a certain policy and actually lying about putting forth a certain policy. There's a difference, right? Because you have to have a majority in the Congress or whatever the fuck, like, because they're gonna block you, obviously, if they're in the opposite party. So it's not that you lied about it sometimes, it's just that you can't get it passed because it's not gonna get through. But actual lies.
Yeah, you could, and same, and yes, I agree with you, and absolutely. There are still things that the president has, irrespective of who holds the House and Senate. He has a certain type of influence, and he's supposed to. That's part of his job, is to guide, to put the proposals, to, hey, consider this, push this out. You know what I'm saying? And then Congress and Senate will decide on whether it gets looked at and at how far and whatever else. But still, there are things, if you promise, and I'm not gonna, I could probably make a lot of people upset in this room. There's a few things that I was very interested in that I saw failed. But the reason I don't bring them up is because, like I said, I've seen it happen so many times. And the outright lies, same thing. I remember back in the day, we were so interested. It was when the PolitiFact or whatever had just come out, but there was one before that it was I don't remember the website, but I mean, yeah, it's almost like fruitless. But I appreciate anyone that wants to that is at that point.
What's it like saying a whole lot of things but saying nothing? Hello?
It just becomes a back and forth.
Another thing worth mentioning is that when people try to fact check Trump, at least if you're going to tell Kamala, I think you should be worrisome when she actually starts getting interviews and getting oppositional journalists facing her directly, which unfortunately I doubt she's going to be able to get much of that in this election cycle, because they're going to put her in the basement like they did Joe Biden. Even though she's not mentally irrepaired, they're still going to put her in a basement because they know when she starts talking, she sounds fucking stupid. So, yeah, they're going to stop that as much as they can. But still, if she gets exposed, she flatlines. She doesn't know how to react. We saw it when she faced Tulsi Gabbard at that debate. Saw it in the Lesser Hall interview. And the fact that she's in the last week, the last 7 days since she became the presumptive nominee, she's backtracked on like 6 different claims entirely. She said she wanted to do a gun buyback program in like 2019 when she wanted to run for the president position originally. She just backtracked that claim. She said she wanted Medicare for illegals. She just backtracked that claim. And by the way, it's not her saying this out of her mouth directly, because if she gets pushed back, she's not going to say anything. It's her staffers putting out statements for her. But yeah, apparently she's backtracked on that. She's backtracked on amnesty. She's backtracked on the Green New Deal and banning fracking. Like, she's going to lie herself into the presidency as long as she can, because she can't defend any of the shit she said in the past.
She's just basically been flip-flopping on actually every interview. And if you want to have a serious, not like a Curious George discussion, if you want to have a serious discussion on the policy and the fears that I have, I actually do. Seriously, I have fears about an Iran-Houthi kind of exploration of, possible turmoil with Israel and Gaza. I have huge concerns about that. And who's going to lead it? Do I think Kamala could do that? Who's never sat down at the table? Who's known to actually miss cabinet and staff meetings and skip them altogether because she didn't want to attend? Those things are there. Like, she has that second highest record for the most absentee votes, like in modern era, 51%. She's missed 51%. Like, I need a president. Like, Trump may tweet stupid shit at 2 a.m, and I'll give you that. The guy fucking does moronic shit that makes me cringe. But at least I know at 2 a.m. the motherfucker's still awake, focusing on something. He's doing something. He's working there. At least he's thinking about the country. May not be doing a great job or the exact job that I want to, but at least I have a guy who's willing to address reporters. He gave the most access of any president. You could ask him anything. And you kind of knew where the country was at least 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. At any given point in time, you had an idea. And right now, that's the best I can hope for. Right now, I know that there's a fight in the Republican Party about who's going to lead it. Trump's winning that fight. But, I mean, I don't want whatever the Democrat agenda is, the infrastructure project, I don't want the great thing that's going on under the Inflation Reduction Act. I don't want those 73 companies that are basically getting fucking Kamala favors. They're not even green projects. They're not even green fucking companies. They're just getting billions of taxpayer dollars under the Inflation Reduction Act for fucking shithole. Like, I have concerns about this shit. I really do. I'm tired of seeing Americans struggle to pay mortgages, rent. I'm tired of seeing people in camps, like literally camping because they can't afford an apartment, but they're paying for a campground that has showers. And they're not shitting in the street. These are wholesale families. And I'm sitting there going, well, can we address this? Do we need to flood the border and have competition for low-income housing across the nation? No, this is not something we need to do. We don't need to try to reduce economic pictures or economic portfolios or pitfalls to help boost the rich. I'm pissed that we just watched the greatest transfer of wealth occur during the pandemic, and then we're about to watch it again. The latest job numbers has Wall Street fucking panicking, which, fuck those guys, I hope they all drop off the fucking edge of their buildings. But at the end of the day, what they're going through is affecting Main Street. And you know what the simple address was? Whatever. We still have Americans missing. And Biden was going, well, why didn't Trump rescue? 2 of the 3 fuckers were captured under his fucking watch, but he was expecting Trump to do it. Like, this is how stupid this argument starts to get. So I have problems with the Democrats leading this nation. Like, out of the 42 open armed conflicts, which one do you want me to focus on? Like, do you think she could take the helm? You think she's going to do great? Like, in all seriousness.
Most people who support Kamala can't even say why they support Kamala specifically. They just say they oppose Trump and want Democrat in office. So they'll just say, regular Democrat talking points. But they already know Kamala is not their ideal candidate, but they're on board because they have to be. And compared to a geriatric like Biden, she looks better, so that's why they're enthusiastic now.
No, this is the whole point, though. It wasn't even them that picked her. Like, this woman, let's talk about this real quick. She got the same percentages of support that she rolled out in 2020 against Biden. Or 2019. She was massively, you can look at it, Reuters wrote a beautiful op-ed about her, talking about her massive support and how white women were championing for her. And all of this money was flowing in, and she was happy. She couldn't work with her campaign staff. That's your fucking staff. Now, granted, she's got a campaign wrapped in a box, and she'll probably fuck this up because that's all she knows how to do, because every seat she's held, everything she's done has been a clusterfuck. It's filled with massive amounts of controversy from fucking...
Like, share, subscribe. What are you waiting for?
That's where,
hit that like button right now. Share the video on your Twitter, on your X. Like and share, like and share, like and share. Subscribe podcast.
Same thing for her senatorial administrative staff. Fucking massive issues. Same thing as VP. When people sit there and do this analysis of Trump versus this, I know what I get with the orange guy. I had 4 years of it. Kamala, she will bend and drop to anybody who tells her to. You see this right now. You can tell it. This woman is not authentic. She never has been. The bitch is not even raised American. Like, this is the part that pisses me off. She grew up in fucking Canada. She's an American citizen, 100%. But she did not grow through the experiences of Black American as a child. She was raised in fucking Canada. She went to school in Canada. Like, you can't correlate to this. And then she's going to run on somehow identification of blackness to Black people. Like, you guys know what being Black in America is. It's vastly fucking different than being Black in Canada. Even a white guy like me can fucking see that shit.
Oh, where'd Dominic go? Get bored of getting his ass kicked? I hate talking to an echo chamber. I was just looking up the details of this prisoner swap, though, that recently happened. And, I don't know, man. Like, honestly, I mean, on one hand, obviously, it's great that we're able to get innocent people out of jail from Russia. But on the other hand, what a shit show is it that we have to give up some of, like, the most atrocious felons and, like, criminals that we possibly can in order to do it. I was looking through this and,
gave up a bunch of spies and a bunch of people guilty of espionage and trying to cause war.
Yeah. Money launderers, hackers, Russian spies, murderers, FSB agents, colonels.
I literally was looking it up the other day. Someone at work was like, aren't we just so happy that they're home? I'm like, what?
I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I'm glad they're home, but, like, what a failure, what a shit show in negotiation tactic is this? I'm not saying I would be any better, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't. But, I mean, someone's got to be able to do better than this.
Well, we also left one over there. Did you read? You hear his? You should. I forget his name.
Who did we end up leaving?
We left one. Her mother was at the tarmac, and Joe Biden ignored her, and then commented to the reporter, "She's 90 years old. His mother's been fighting for a long time. I can't even remember it, but she's been begging, and she feels he was glossed over." And even some of the reporters on the opinion pieces and Twitter Spaces were like, "Yeah, this one's kind of shady because we brought back a green card holder and we left the American citizen over there. Like, why?"
But she's 90 years old.
The mother is over here. She gave a very poignant and direct.
Oh, but the prisoner's not.
No, the prisoner's not. It's their son that's over there.
Okay. Yeah, it's because, like, I mean, there might be something to that on the Russian side of things, Brad. The way I look at it, like, one of these people was apparently someone that Putin had wanted to get back as part of the Brittany Griner prisoner swap, but the U.S. wasn't willing to budge on this guy with, I guess, all the other negotiations. So I can see how if Russia's hardballing that they wouldn't allow one of our guys off the hook either in this one. But, like, yeah, I mean, we're literally releasing people that are directly associated with and acting on behalf of the Russian government in exchange for innocent people.
When you release people that have a nickname called the Merchant of Death, we should probably reconsider some of these. And I'm all for it. Like, I want all Americans home. Like, personally, I would have sent in fucking all the SEALs, all the fucking Marine Corps, and I would have blown fucking Moscow up. I champion this. I say the same thing about Gaza. I would tear up Gaza. I would tear up Russia. I would tear up any place that America is. This is what we pay enormous tax dollars for our military to go do it.
Right.
And there is not a soldier, I know this firsthand. I can promise you this. There is not a soldier out there that would not sit there and say, let me go get my American citizen home. Black, white, it wouldn't make a difference. Male, female, whatever religion, whatever ethnicity you come from, it won't fucking matter. The rallying cry is always, there is an American there. They are desperate. They are in trouble. Let's go get them. And everybody's blood is pumped. Everybody is focused. And we want to lay waste to everybody else that gets in our way of getting that person out.
Yeah, man, remember Benghazi, Brad? Oh, that hurt me.
Yes. And those men, Jocko used to be on here, and for those of you, Pockets may remember, because she's old school like me.
Jocko used to be on Clubhouse?
Yeah, he's a friend of mine. He came on, we did a bunch of rooms together. So he would talk about this, and when they were deciding at the moment, And he was like, forget the book, forget all the fucking things. But he said there were Americans in need. He said they were really chomping at the bit and they got tired of the bureaucracy holding back. And all he wanted to do, and I'll give you his quote, the only thing in my head is, I want to kill all the motherfuckers that I can to get to my Americans. That's the only thing. Man, woman, child, it don't fucking matter. Infants to elderly people, it won't fucking matter to men and women like me who say, there's an American in trouble. I don't care what anybody else is. It's not mean, it's not racist, it's not there. My goal is to get to an American. And his goal, what he said is, I would have laid waste to everybody and everything to go save them, to get there. He said he was chomping so hard, he was screaming, he was cursing, he wanted to shoot his own fucking one guy that kept stopping him. So just be aware.
Yeah, I hated that. I hated reading those emails, the constant requests, and oh man, like that's like, damn, how, who the hell was asleep at the wheel? Like that's just messed up. That is just.
And for the record, Beatmaster, the Marine Security Force, for many of you that don't know, most of our embassies and ambassadors are protected by a very specialized, a very high functioning, very much hoorah motherfuckers. These are fucking, they will do everything they can to protect you inside that embassy. When you're running to an embassy, the whole country you're in is in turmoil. These guys are the ones you want to see at the post, because when you see these, there is nothing that is going to stop them from protecting you. But the Marine Security Forces have never lost a man. They've never lost one. They are the elite of elite in terms of this. They should have actually been the ones guarding Trump. Like, honestly, they are far more effective, far better, far more aggressive, far more technically aware than the Secret Service, in my opinion. If you'd have put those guys around Trump, nobody would have even been able to blow on that man's hair. The shininess from his orange skin wouldn't have been able to radiate to people. That's how tough these guys are. And it just, I wish they would have used them in Benghazi, and they were declined. Had they been there, that scenario would have been a whole different way, and the bodies that they would have stacked that day would have been as big as a border wall.
So I am so shocked. Given I have a lot of political friends, mostly political friends on Facebook, I still maintain a Facebook. I generally just go on to connect when we're doing our meetups or whatever. But anyway, I cannot believe the overwhelming attention that this Olympic Khalif fighter brought. I mean, it is just, my whole feed is just filled with this, and it's just crazy. And then I thought to myself, was this like because I'm surprised that most people are in support of Khalif. Like, it's just lots of support. I think a lot of the men have similar feelings as King. King has mentioned, let it happen. They're just like, this is what you wanted, so this is what you get. But I've seen this so much, and then I thought to myself, do you remember just a few, like, before the Olympics started, there was like this whole trend of like boycott the Olympics, and because of the mocking of the Last Supper, and we talked about it in here for a little bit. But I think that it's interesting that, however, if it was overplayed or wasn't overplayed, the Karina, the Italian, she had come out with an apology towards Khalif and was just like, I'm sorry, I overreacted. I should have, shook your hand, and I should have been more, diplomatic and everything. But she knew that she had lost, and it makes me think, like, I mean, I don't know. It's tough. You think about all the different things that, like, was this a ploy was this like a marketing ploy to get more people distracted or get their attention back into the Olympics because of all of the attention they lost from the boycott? Was it overplayed? Was it, I thought for a little while, I was thinking maybe Karina, she was going to play her cards because you know who you're fighting before you fight them. And I was thinking maybe she thought, oh, if I go in there and I'm able to beat her, that's great. I'll be able to obviously win and I'll be able to hold that. But knowing the circumstance, did she think about it and premeditate? And it could have even been a subconscious thing where she felt weaker than she could have been. I don't know. It's very interesting, but I wonder if she played the cards of the crying and that whole thing. Was it all an act?
It wasn't an act.
You don't think it was an act?
No, she trained her dad that was helping support her and get her into the boxing, getting her into boxing died I forget, less than a month before she got selected. So he wasn't even there. She was actually boxing for her father. It was a dream they had. She trained her whole life for this. She'll never get another shot at this. And in 48 seconds, she was done. She had to tap her arm out. The problem was that this individual, and this is why it went so hard at Curious George, because he was in another room celebrating the fact of, oh, it's a guy. He identifies as a woman or whatever the bullshit. And it's the same thing with the opening ceremony. If you look off from the center stage, the guy who's supposed to be portraying Jesus in the Last Supper, that guy is actually a convicted sex offender, which I find massively ironic. There you go. I may have to acquiesce the king's belief that there is a God at this point because there's just way too much irony in this. But if you look to the left of the picture, it's a guy in his short shorts. He's got a thing up. His nutsack's hanging out. Now it gets even interesting. Watch the video, and he's dancing around kids with his nutsack hanging out in front of the kids. So this is my issue with it. And that same fucking guy that was just in here screaming about how Trump is the racist and I'm homophobic was the same guy clapping for this, saying, oh, you guys are just homophobic and racist for being upset about it. And the Olympics are supposed to be a family event. There's a lot of children at the event. They use a lot of children in the event. And, you still have 16-year-old girls. Make no doubt about this. These are young female athletes, young male athletes. These are not, grown-up adults. These are 30-year-olds that can sit there, see something, and be like, oh, for fuck's sake, and walk away. These are kids, enjoying the first time they're away from home. This is their first experience. It should be inviting. It should be a competition. It should be badass. But it's diminished when you see this stuff and the controversy there. And when you actually look at what they're portraying, it's wrong. I'm not even a Christian, and I cringed. I was upset. I was angry. I felt terrible for Christians because it seems that it was okay to mock their religion, but God forbid you make a Muslim cartoon and then the people of France get shot up, or some other bullshit. So at the end of the day, I think honestly, when I hear people like Curious George sit there and advocate for stupid shit and then tell me about how I'm the wrong person, and I actually mean it. I really want, there is a group of gay men out here that seem perfectly fine with targeting children, whether influencing children or directly. I'm not calling them the P word. I'm just saying there seems to be a connection and a problem that we have in America of allowing this. And personally, I want it to stop. I want to go back to the old way where the neighborhood men went out there and just beat the guy with a baseball bat if you fucked around with kids. That's the kind of level of where I'm at. I have 2 daughters. I'm an angry parent when I see this because I will forever be a parent. And a lot of parents are getting angrier and angrier at this, saying, I don't want women, like the poor Italian girl, to go in there and fight a 6'1" genetically male guy that wants to identify on his passport as a female, get her punched in the fucking face. I don't know what to tell you women, But what is it going to take for you that one of these men one day are going to snap a fucking woman's neck? They're going to kill a woman. They're in boxing, they're in wrestling, they're in these very hard sports, women's football, women's soccer. You're going to see the pain, you're going to see a girl die, and then I'm going to promise you the repercussions and the rebound is going to come and say, this is your problem. Like, you'll have men that, like King, that say that, and to some extent it is women's problem, because despite men like me saying, please don't do this, this is wrong, we got called homophobic, we got called everything else. And now what's going to end up happening is some young girl very, very, very soon is going to lose her life because people didn't want to listen. And I promise you that's coming. It's coming soon. Look at field hockey. Look at all these sports that young, great women play in. And look at where these men are going into and trying to get some accolades and doing this shit for whatever fucking kicks they have. And not why you have Curious Georges advocating for that and then calling you homophobic because you have concerns and worries about some fucking 6'1" guy going into a women's boxing sport.
Hey, can you speak up a little bit? I'm taking a shit right now. Can you speak up just a little bit?
Or you got guys like that.
He's perfectly clear to me. I don't.
Yeah, you might want to get a new headset, Donald. Probably.
Dominic, welcome back.
I was talking to one of my friends.
Was it a male?
No, it's a female.
Was it actually a female?
Yes.
How do you know?
She has a vagina, and I think she has ovaries.
Did you grab her by the pussy?
No, because my name isn't Donald Trump. I don't sexually harass women.
Dominic, can you stop cooning for 1 second, bro? Just 1 second.
What am I cooning for, Dave?
I don't know. I think you just do it because you want to be white. It is what it is.
How? What does it have to do with being white?
I think that because you were born darker than your other family members, that you missed out on whiteness, so you try to make up for it by cooning out.
So can you define the way that I'm cooning out?
Well, you cooning out by platforming yourself, by embarrassing black people.
In what way? You're not being specific at all. You're just saying vague things.
By you opening up your mouth and saying things that doesn't represent blackness, by you making yourself saying like a purple young leftist.
He was destined to do this. This is just the predestination of him to be a coon. It is what it is.
You know what? I think God do design a coon, bro, and it is what it is, man. But not all coons are made equal. I'll tell you that.
It's a good thing I don't believe in God.
Exactly. Yeah. You think you're doing it on your own free will, but you're a coon by choice.
What do you think you are, Nate?
I'm a real nigga, bro. What you mean?
Oh, you think so? You think so? I'm
think so. I got my flag, man.
Money on that. Can't use the real nigga quote. Sorry.
Dominic, I'll tell you what. I'll swap cards with you. I'll hand you my white card. You can hand me the black card, and we can just swap up.
And that would make more. Listen, that would make more sense in reality, Brad. Because I always thought that you were more black and white.
Oh, nigga, right
now. Go on, get up. Go on. And then. And then. But sorry about that. Listen, man. You talking about an ass whooping? Let me tell you, bro. Me and Dogs was playing pool.
Don't do that. Yo, Nathan hasn't won a pool game in like at least 10 tries. At least.
Nathan, you suck at that. Is it the angles? You can't see angles really well? Like, what's going on?
I'll take that challenge any day.
It's a Heineken, bro. If I was drinking Corona, it would have been a different game, B. I'm telling you.
Look at him making excuses why he lost.
You know, I usually beat all my black friends at pool to your knowledge. Maybe they're just not good at pool.
Nah, stop that beat.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
You probably got a pool table in your house. That's the only reason why you better.
I wish I had a pool table.
Is the winner of the
You got a pool?
break the first game, the next game?
Oh no, he was slick with it. He was slick with it. After every game he lost, he was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. He lost and I raped. He was slick.
Listen, the last game, Knowledge won by accident. I'll tell you that, man. By accident. But that shit was fun, man. Listen. That shit was fun. But anyways, though,
Hey, you scratched.
I just want to say this.
Yeah, we talking about scratching the 8 ball.
You scratched.
Now, it's Feedback Fridays, and a lot of people forget twice. They do a scratch on it twice. But hey, listen, I just want to talk about Feedback Fridays. I think we often forget what the day represents. Today is the day of feedbacks. I want to give a shout out and a feedback to Monica. Monica, when I first met you, people often told me that, hey, she isn't allowed to be in this type of rooms. She shouldn't be here with these type of people. But I tell you this, I don't know what it was, but the white belts are us. I don't know. Every time I get someone in this room, they often talk about Monica and how much that white belts of us made them listen to Monica and understand her perspective and understand her for an individual just like anyone else. Because listen, the hate was crazy. But I want to say this, Monica, I appreciate you. I appreciate you bringing your talents to White Belts Are Us. And listen, you bring conversations, you bring intellectual conversations at best too. And you're like a bag of knowledge. I often thought that Cora was the representation of white women, but you proved me wrong, Monica. You proved me wrong. And if I could just... No, and if I can just like deliver flowers to you, not virtually, but physical flowers, Monica. Listen, I will bestow upon you the most flowers I could because you are a gem that needs to be cherished. And I appreciate you because you appreciate me. Alright?
For the record, he only had one drink, okay?
I was gonna say Nathan is drunk as hell right now.
Only one beer.
Slurring words. I want to hear you say shit about me slurring my words.
It was.
Can you give a Goose Island Stout or a Dragon Stout?
It was one beer, and he didn't even finish the whole beer. That's all.
No, did you give him like a Dragon Stout?
It was a. No. It was a freaking bucket. 2 buckets, 2 rum and cokes. I didn't even eat.
Hi, my name is Books. I'd like to be put in the queue if I may.
Lemon peppered. And he had lemon peppered wings.
I appreciate this room. I haven't been here before, but I also appreciate Monica. And I really appreciate Nathan because he's cultivating rooms of great intelligence. I have been listening devoutly for many months, maybe a year now.
Pay 2 hours for a pink ticket.
That's my boy, that's John. I want to give another shout out. I want to give another shout out to my girl, the one and only B Masters. Listen, when B Masters came into this room, she made a statement. She said, listen, this is my people, this is my room, and I made it clear in another room that's very popular that you guys don't allow free speech. You guys don't allow people to be themselves. Right? And she said this, and that resonated in my heart. You know what I mean? And I appreciate B-Master for B-Master. B-Master, thank you.
Once again, I want to avoid all allegations. I want to avoid all allegations. He only had 1 beer. For the record, I want to get blamed for this. Whatever was in the food has nothing to do with me. But he had.
I just want to know, when is Chillism going to Chatter? Is Chillism on Chatter yet? Because I'm big on Chatter now.
I don't want it.
people by accusing them of being like touchy huggy. I love that fucking
All I'm saying is, I'm responsible for the drinks. But whatever was in the food, I had nothing to do with that. Just for the record.
I want to give another shout out on Feedback Fridays, and this is definitely some feedback. Listen, one person who has said this, and they said this in the past. They said, when it comes to love, I'm a loving person. And I always get hate when I tell black people that I love them, because they often don't believe me. And that right there is the person who isn't in the room, DeFaro. And I thank God DeFaro isn't in the room.
I'm not responsible for any of this.
So DeFaro, no she isn't. So DeFaro is one of those people who just loves individual. And listen, she loves so much that she would demand love from other people. And I appreciate that. The reason why I appreciate that is because she knows what she wants, and she wants what she wants. And I thank you, DeFaro, for you being an individual for who you are. Listen, there are many people that are like as transparent as DeFaro. DeFaro is one in a million.
So tell me, Nathan, when she says things to me like, just know that when I say what I say, I got all of it from people you're calling your friend. So is that transparent? Like, why won't she just say that she's threatening to dox me? Is that love?
I'm gonna say this, man. Sometimes love make you do things that you don't want to do, and sometimes love always have like this vindictive motives only when you don't receive the type of love you want. That's all I think.
Knowledge should not only take him out for drinking.
I'm trying to tell you guys, I'm responsible for the Heineken, yes. Whatever he...
Now, over police, when in Oakland, the cop sitting in my room in a trauma told me that they only had 35 cops on from 11 to 11 whatever the shift was.
Well, you can thank your Democratic leaders in Oakland. Oakland is run by Marxist, communist, socialist terrorists. The Democrats run that shithole. It's called Oakland. It's run by Democrats. The Democrats that have run that ground to shit. That city is a pile of shit because of Democrats. No, make no mistake.
And he's screaming too.
I put him in the audience. That's that guy. He come in with a different name all the time with that screaming and shit.
That's because he loves me so much. He changes his.
No.
And I see Miss Edmund on and Dr. Keisha and Dr. Everybody, our Houston people. I mean, it's just Texas people. We have a very tough environment here. We've got to get out. Because I mean, I don't know if you're going. I don't know if you can hear me because I've been. You all have been going in and out. So I hope the signal's okay. But we have we're in a state where we're giving back Medicaid dollars. This is something that every state gets from the federal government, and they send it back. I mean, it's just crazy. And so we've got to make change. My dad has ALS now, and so from running a marathon to running marathons and starting. You see things from a different perspective as it pertains to being physically challenged, disabled, as some may refer to it. And so, just from, him being excited to go in and walk in and do his ballots, they have done their mail-in ballots. And one time I remember that when they didn't sign up for the mail-in ballots, that he didn't want to go to the curb. Just because, when you're in the wheelchair or you're having to wait and you don't know how long you have to wait for somebody to come out there and help you, that was something that he was concerned about, because and just having the action of doing that. So we really have to make it
easier. And I don't know if it's, if it's, I don't know how. I think that's one of the things that we're going to definitely have to look at in this election, and looking at the population and where it is, because in some areas we're going to need more than one person that's going to be able to come out and check and do, register them, to not register them, but sign them in for voting at the curb, so that they're not going to have to wait excessively. So, given the situation, given their conditions. So that's all I have to say. I always enjoy the conversation. I always learn something, your perspectives from different areas, and it's our, and for those of you who, as you were describing yourselves, I'm Marina. My background is public relations. I have a green background. I'm a multicultural woman with.
Oh, we lost you, Marina. She may have gotten a call. I'm going to mute her. And thank you, Marina. Yeah, she's on the phone. Off to you, Scotty. And then back to Marina if she's available.
Oh, sure. I just had, just in terms of this evening, what is the call? Is there a call that we're waiting for tonight?
Oh, we've been listening to for, what, an hour? Yeah.
Right, the disabled voters call.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if that was still going on. Okay.
So we've been playing it. So I actually just came in. We played it for the first 30 minutes. So what's happening is they have technical difficulties, and then they're doing breaks for them. So we're doing it in between. So they've been having an issue with the system. So they were like in the middle of a pause, because they wanted to make sure that everyone could hear and see and be able to participate. That's where they were.
Okay.
Got
it.
Yeah.
I'll have a back channel message for you, just because I'm juggling a bunch of things. I don't want to hold up the room.
Oh, no worries. And you guys, everything, we're seeing updates. I got some good clips as well, but I wanted to give space for this. If anyone has any insight or any information on facts on disabled voters, access, history, tips, all of that, it's greatly appreciated in the conversation. I think I saw Briar and Mike. Off to you.
Yeah, thanks, Keisha. So we all have, being a human gives us pretty complex identities, and some parts are simple and some parts are complex, but I rarely talk about it, but I actually have multiple disabilities. Some are genetic, I was just born with, and recently I've been injured, so I now have a second disability. And it's funny, because I never thought of myself as somebody who was disabled. It was actually a doctor, so shout out to the doctors who brought this up with me and talked about how I was dealing with it and handling it, and it was really interesting to think about that, and think about that as an identity that I could own and speak on. And I think one of the things that I echoed what somebody said earlier about it's complicated to think that the phrasing should have to be like anybody could be disabled, because that implies if you couldn't share that identity, then it might not matter. You might not be able to show empathy for it. And I strongly agree with the phrasing of if there's an injustice for one, which I said on the call, it's an injustice for everybody. And I'd like to live in a society where we look at everybody, especially those who are struggling, because we all do know what it is to struggle. We've all had some struggle in our life, even if it's more or less so than somebody else. And I'd like to live in a world where we look at those people that are struggling and without question want to uplift them. That's frankly one of the reasons why I really support Harris is throw all the policies out and everything else as if they didn't matter. The fact that there's somebody out there that just seems to be willing to show empathy to the people that are struggling versus trying to give more to the people that are succeeding. For me, that's one of my two key issues along with healthcare. And I think those relate very strongly. Obviously, doctors know this firsthand. So it's wonderful to see this. And I'm going to be honest, dealing with disability, one of the things that most of my life I've thought of somebody who supports people with disability as a teacher. And I think one thing that's important to talk about is it can be messy and challenging and painful. And we will make mistakes and have to learn and grow in that. And I found myself, I want to give kind of a confession, I guess. I found myself being challenged to listen to the people that speak in different ways and different patterns, But like yourself, it was really elucidating for me because I never thought of describing who I was or my PTR or these kind of facts about myself. I've never thought of them. And some of my closest friends on this app are blind or visually impaired. So, I'm thinking of all these mistakes I've made along the way. And I think that's something that I'm going to have to figure out, how to handle well along with everybody else. But I just love that this is a group that's getting attention, and it's a sizable group, and sadly, sometimes in politics, we only think about things if there's enough people that it could sway an election, which is sad but true. And this is a group that's big enough to do that, but I don't think that should be the reason why we support those that are disabled. And I like that it's another group in this coalition, and you can see how much this is something that's growing to a lot of different people, and I think that's beautiful. And I just thought it was really cool, and I legitimately learned a lot just listening in. So just wanted to give that shout out.
Thank you, and we support you. Thank you for being transparent.
Dr. Keisha, can
as
I
well.
just comment really quickly?
Yeah, and then off to Julia after you.
This is Danielle. I added you, so please follow me back. And I just want to tell you, don't be afraid to, just you don't have to disclose your disability because I don't all the time. But I just want to tell you, don't be afraid to talk about your disability and share your story with other people. Because that's something that on Clubhouse I was afraid to do for so long because I thought that, people didn't want to hear what I have to say. But some of my closest friends are on this app, and non-sighted and or non-disabled and disabled. And so I just want to tell you, man, keep sharing your story because there's somebody out there that needs to hear what you have to say. And so, I followed you, so I'll be back.
I gave you the follow back. Thanks a lot, and I think I've seen you in some rooms, and I hope we get to talk more in the future. So
awesome.
Thanks for that share, and I'll give that some thought too. I don't mind disclosing kind of some of the stuff I'm going through. So you're right, that is probably a good call. It's something as I'm learning and growing as a person. So
awesome.
Thanks for sharing.
Follow me on Instagram and stuff as well, and we'll connect offline. Can I add 2 words to that?
Samia and then Julia. Yes,
because I just think to follow along with what Breer was saying, I think we can all be more compassionate, and I think when your abilities are challenged, I think it pushes you in a different place. I can so relate to that, having had an injury unexpectedly 2 years ago, and just literally being able to walk and get around and living in a place like New York, for example, and realizing how many places don't have elevators, how many places don't have escalators, and how many places don't even have a bench for you to sit and rest a little bit when you're tired. And I think as a society, especially in this country, because I've traveled to places like Sweden, for example, where there's a bench in the supermarket. And I remember thinking, wow, what a novel concept. But I think as a people, we can all be more aware and more conscious when we do things, whether it's having places that have ramps or making sure that maybe this thing is not 4 flights up and has an escalator. And I've seen that in so many places where a lot of times the thought doesn't even come up, because I think when you have all your abilities, it's not something that you think about. And even for me, that's something that I've become so much more aware of. And I think as a collective, like I said in the beginning, we can all be more aware and compassionate. So sometimes it's not necessarily about telling your business, but I think it's also about helping us to have a wider scope. That's it.
Thank you, Samia. And I think that compassion, starts with listening and understanding. A lot of times we think we hear. I remember this conversation where several people, including Andrew, and he shared this, where we're like, listen, this is not accessible to us. And the people are like, yeah, it is accessible. And it's like, listen, it's not accessible to us. And I think sometimes we think that we're being open and we're understanding and we're not listening. It's okay to not know about a group or their struggles, but sometimes just sitting back and listening. And I think that's what this race is going to be different, is we do need to listen to, okay, we think, oh, it's just like get the vote out. Well, you're telling it to a group of people that may have anxiety. They don't want to have a panic attack when they get to the voting thing. Certain sounds, and I know this from personal experience, again, dealing with this with family members, certain sounds or noises. They don't want to have an attack or an episode, and then they be misconstrued because they look a certain way as being, angry or aggressive. So all of those things are barriers, and how can we make those barriers better? How can we be aware of them, do what we can do, and see that the system is also strategically set up to push them away with those barriers. So thank you for that, Sonia. I think it was, who had unmiked? Y'all, sorry,
Me.
Gen X is
Julia Gulia, don't want to make a fool of you.
Okay, Julia, then Ramona.
Hi, everyone. Today's call, I was in the background because it was a very sensitive topic for me, and it felt really good. I was overwhelmed with joy, is what I would say. But also, I was cringed because I didn't know what would become of the call. But thankfully, like Dr. Keisha, many people listen to react. They don't listen to respond. So I gave myself permission to just listen to respond. Why, Julia? I'm an auditory learner. When I got to high school, so like everyone in my family, they don't have to study. This one right here, Juju, I had to study, probably read things 2-3 times. I used to read the end of the book so that I could read the beginning of the book because I need to know what's going to happen at the end. And I would go to high school, and my high school principal taught 2 courses. And afterwards, he said, have anyone else told you about dyslexia? And I said, no. And I did research on dyslexia, and I cried because I realized that I had a lot of the mentions. I would then get, I went to 2 different facilities to get tested, and in fact, I do have dyslexia. But I didn't know dyslexia was a disability. I always told people that dyslexia was my superpower. It allows me to see things in a different way. I analyze things in a different way. So when you read a book, the way that one would start reading the book to gain understanding, I don't read it that way. But guess what? I still read. So I've learned that even in the term disability, I think people get crippled by the word disability because there's certain things that people definitely can't do, but there's other things that people can do that the average person cannot do. And that is what I think on, and I would hope that anyone on this call would find a level of empathy to recognize that when people hear things and it makes them moody or cranky, the sensory issue, and they start acting a particular way, they have no way of controlling it. Trust me, no one wants to be the center of attention in an uncomfortable situation. We don't want to be uncomfortable. And we are cognizant of other people, and that's why people who have dyslexia, sensory issues, they tend to retreat. I'm not one of those people. I do love being in the mix in crowds of people, but then there's times that I need solace because I need to refill my cup. Because when I get overstimulated, sometimes I tend to crawl under a rock myself. But I recognize it's because my impulses can't allow but so much action to take place. When we're thinking of voting for someone like Madam Kamala Harris, our future first woman president, she's going to be able to put these things into place and put things into place as early childhood intervention services. My mom was a teacher, but
there's certain things that my mom didn't get because my mom was working full time. My mom and my dad, they're awesome people. And I always had the A's and B's. But the way that I got my A's and B's hadn't to get picked up by the average teacher. It took them, I mean, it took all the way to the ninth grade to discover that I had dyslexia. My quality of life of how I viewed education would have been so different. Because while people had fun going to school, I didn't have fun all the time going to school. Because I had to really work hard to get those grades. And I wanted to do well. There's so many other people like me, even in adulthood, that are having to work twice as hard, not recognizing that they also too may be dyslexic issues or this, that, and the third. And they're told, oh, that's how that person is. Let them go. That's because there's not enough funding in order to support these kind of individuals. And even when some of these individuals are in fact diagnosed with having such thing, there's nothing accessible to them, whether it may be transportation, a combination of services. If a person who has dyslexia don't know that they have dyslexia and need to go to the voting polls, and they're not on a clubhouse to learn what their rights are or what the candidates could offer, that individual may be in that voting booth for 45 minutes, an hour. And then the person behind them is going to yell and be upset, right? I mean, that's because we don't know. We're very unaware. We're so used to wanting to satisfy ourselves and not recognize that our fellow person, average person, may have a disability like mine. I've managed to get a master's degree. I'm returning back to school and changing careers, but that's because I was given the tools in order to do that. I even make it fun of myself. I'm like, hey guys, I'm having a dyslexic moment. I recognize that I'm not getting something, and I stop myself, and I give myself the power to speak it out loud so that other individuals could know that they need their, but I could try to understand something. I'm like, I'm not trying to be an a-hole. I just need to understand. Can I rephrase the question? I don't think you're answering that's not what, I still don't get it. So I make sure that I speak up for myself and say, look, I'm not able to break things down the way that you can or the average person can. There's certain things I will get instantaneously. There's other things I will not. But what I will not allow someone to do is to make me feel less than or other than because of the fact that I'm not able to think the way you think. So I will always speak up for those who are less fortunate. I will always speak up for those who may not get it and provide compassion and provide them the space to say that it's okay because we all have rights to do so. And we could all learn from each other. Sometimes you have to pause for the greater cause. So I hope that this call and all of the other calls that we've had are so layered that everyone has something. But collectively, we can have a greater thing. And that's having our future Madam Kamala Harris as President of the United States. And on that, I yield. I love you all.
We love you, Julia. We're with you. I appreciate your story and being transparent. And I would have never known any of that. Something that's happening on the call, y'all, is they were talking about, so remember we talked about this thread, a lot of fears with different groups feeling disenfranchised and then what Project 2025 could yield. They were talking about how in dictatorships and then actually what could happen with Project 2025 is the first group to be affected from it is going to be those with disabilities or disenfranchised. And I agree with that. One of the disabled was afraid if Project 2025 went into effect, they would lose the Disability Act, ADA. They would lose the healthcare access, already the things they're struggling to get right. They would lose with it. So that's really, truly, it's not just a Black woman thing, though that's amazing. But there are true fears with this group. So I'm going to go quickly in the call and allow others to share because Julia had such a beautiful share. We'll get back to the shares, but we'll get back to the call real quick. As I try to attempt to turn it up. So something interesting happened. All of the volume buttons went away. So Okay, here you go. Can you guys hear it or no?
No.
Okay, Ramona, we'll go to you, and then I'm gonna I'm trying to turn the sound up, but I'm having a button issue. It's very weird. I've never seen. Okay, I think I got it. But every time I hit the button, go ahead, Ramona. But I'm gonna turn the volume up slowly in the background. Go ahead and speak.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. Earlier I did fail to describe myself just in case there's anybody on the call. I am a Caucasian woman. I am blind. I'm 47. I think the PTR that I've got up now is of me and a dolphin. I went swimming with dolphins this summer. That was awesome. But I think another thing that I have to also remember is how we interact with each other, how people interact with people with disabilities. As a blind individual, I lost my sight due to domestic violence when I was very small and ended up in foster care for 13 years. And went through all the joys of foster care for kids to be. And so I went through that and became an adult, and I had to go through more eye surgeries. When I was 26, I started having eye surgeries. I had eye surgeries for 4 years. I had 16 of them because, as we've mentioned before, the great state of Texas told me as long as there's a surgical solution, I had to try it before I got approved for disability. It took me 5.5 years, 16 eye surgeries, and finally I got approved. And I had a daughter at that time, and the whole time that I was raising her, I think one of the major fears that I had was someone's going to show up, because I'm a single mom, and take my kid away from me because I'm blind. And I know people say that that might sound ridiculous, but as an advocate, I have worked with people all over the place that have lost their children due to their disabilities, just because they were disabled. Not because they did anything wrong, not because their kid got hurt, not because, just because they were disabled. They couldn't possibly be appropriate parents if they have a disability, which is really a ridiculous claim. I've met so many people that are disabled that have been fantastic parents and have very good children. Their outcomes with their children are very good. So, it's hard to know what someone else is going through unless you're going through it too. And I found one of the obstacles in voting is that you have overly helpful people that aren't listening. They're just trying to shuffle you through. So therefore, they feel they have the right to reach out and put their hands on you, and drag you, pull you, whatever. I actually had a lady that came up to me and grabbed my cane and started tapping my cane forward. And I'm a weird person, man. I'll say things just to get your attention because people don't listen. I walked into a hotel in the foyer looking for the registration desk, so I'm listening to what's going on around me. I'm mind mapping what's going on in my surroundings. And I'm just about there, and I hear this voice that goes, "I'll help you." And I'm going, "Oh, dear God, please don't let her be talking to me. Don't let her be talking to me." Oh, yeah, she was talking to me. This lady puts her arm around me, then she grabs my cane and starts tapping me forward. And I'm like, "Ma'am, I'm okay. Thank you. Please, ma'am. No, ma'am." And finally, I'm like, "Ma'am, I need to ask you a question." And she says, "What?" And I'm like, "If I were a man in the foyer with an erection, would you grab it just because it was sticking out?" And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "Well, you have your hand on my penis." And so she lets go. And I'm like, "Thank you." It's like, just so you know, please don't ever grab a person's cane like that ever again. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. You know, and so it's sad that you have to go to that extreme to get people's attention. So they can't just listen to you like a regular person. They can't talk to you and ask you what you would like to eat. They'd rather ask your neighbor, what would your friend like to eat? Well, your friend has a mouth and your friend can speak. So speak to me. You know, don't speak to the person next to me. You know, if I ask for help, that's fine. But if I tell you I'm okay, please respect that and don't think that I'm being a butthole about it. I'm not. I don't like people putting their hands on me because it scares me. I can't see you. I don't know what your intentions are. You could be whisking me off to, you know, Margaritaville for all I know. So, you know, I mean, there's different ways that people live and require a certain amount of respect because you don't just walk up to another person. If they were sighted, you wouldn't just walk up to them and grab them. Hey, let me take you to where you're going, even if that's not where you're going. So it sounds like our volume's starting to get better. I just want you guys to know that, you know, I mean, just because people have a physical or psychological infirmity doesn't mean that they aren't capable of thinking for themselves and speaking for themselves. And when they do, please listen. So I'll land for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramona. I'm glad we heard your story. I'm so sorry that happened to you and that's how you lost your vision. But I think, and I wonder when we talk about voting and going to the polls, I wonder if we're going to have competent people at the polls to deal with this. I know people want to share real quick, but the call is ending soon. So if I can just turn up the volume on the call, there's 3 different names. They have sign language names for Kamala, for Black, Indian, and for was a woman, and it's like a Lotus factor. But I think they're closing. I'm going to turn it up just quickly, and then we'll go to Dr. Sharon.
City and county. So you want to check within your area to see what's going on so that you can have all the support you need to get your vote in there. Okay?
Amazing. Thank you so much. The planning committee wants to thank again Joteka Edie, Holly Holiday, Chantel, and Win with Black Women again for hosting this link and helping us so much with this movement. We want to thank the community and the disability community for showing up. I want to give this also to the planning community. We want to highlight other ways the Democratic Party to, you know, in your city and your town, your local Democratic Party, volunteer on your own, join the YDA Disability Caucus. You can check the link in our bio link tree. We've been sharing all the links in the chat. We will also send up a follow email tomorrow. This is our inaugural call. There will be many more. Again, like I said, we are continuing to learn. We are continuing to grow. Thank you for your patience. This is just one of many, many, many things. I'm going to pass it over to others.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to all of the DEV members that were on this call. I know that we had some technical difficulties, and I apologize for that. We are working really hard to understand, with it being so many people in the chat and so many questions and so many different moving parts with the panels and all of that, and just trying to make sure that everyone is pinned and everyone can see everyone and that our captions and everything are accessible. So I just want to apologize to Miss Yvonne and Mr. Ricky for not having this as accessible as we would have hoped. We thought we were doing all the things. We got multiple interpreters. Everybody's certified. We have card, but we still experience some of those things that are challenges, which make for great feedback. So please, you can send us emails. You can contact me directly on Instagram at Zabora G. Or you can also email us at info@disabledvotersforharris.com. Or you can go to our website, and it's if you want to contact us through there, you can also do that. I just want to make sure you know that we value deaf people and we value accessibility, and we really attempted to give you all that we could with having CART and having certified interpreters, but things didn't just go work the way we wanted. But nonetheless, don't forget to donate. Don't forget that we love y'all. I love y'all. And I am so excited for our next call. I look forward to having Miss Yvonne back and Mr. Ricky back and Tatiana back and everybody back. This was such an awesome thing. Don't forget to donate. Come on, keep that energy up. I know everyone's tired.
Absolutely.
Come on, y'all. We got to go out how we came in.
Listen. We are doing something that is really, really important. You may have heard me say it earlier if you tuned into our live, but we haven't had this like a large amount of folks together since Capitol Crawl, and that was March 1990. We were able to get a little over 500 plus, close to really around 600, which is fantastic. Capitol Crawl had 1,000. We'll be doing another call, and we'll be making sure that we continually work on the accessibility of the space. Moving forward, we're only going to have one panel, so it's effective for what our Bindi fun bodies will do to us. So we're going to keep it accessible with the more we learn about the Harris administration, because we are tied to the campaign. That keeps coming up in the chat. We will let you know any ways in which we can continually partner with them to make sure events are accessible, or we're there, we're part of the conversation. We'll keep you updated with that. Again, if you want to be part of the committee with your intersectionality, you can send us your information. All the chats, the link for this donation link is in the links for Instagram as well as the website. There's also a link tree there that already has some voting resources that are available to you. You have to know that this is something that happened in less than 5 days, and we are incredibly appreciative of the Harris campaign, Doteka Eddie with Win with Black Women, for all of the folks who have been championing for us to get together. But this only works if you make it work, because again, we're volunteering our time. So I want everyone to tweet, to text, to call, to put something in the stories, whatever. You don't tweet anymore, you exit, you thread it, whatever you got to do. Let folks know that we came together. Let them know that we are here for you. Let them know that we're going to do it again. And let them know that we have power.
So some of the things in the chat, they did say that people were having some accessibility issues. They're going to do that, be better at making sure it's more accessible. They had 2 interpreters on. There were some issues with people being able to get their sound out. And people also had requested, this is a good one, requested Braille material and other material on Kamala Harris so they could know more about her and what she stands for. So some things. Off to you, Dr. Sharon, whoever else wants to speak.
Thank you so much to Ramona for sharing your story. I had I got off of a flight last Wednesday. I came in at Bush Airport, and I had to take the train from one terminal to the next to get my bag. So when I got off the train,
Dr. Sharon, get a little bit closer to the mic, because there's a little bit more background than before. Oh, were you on your...
I'm driving.
No
you know
worries.
What? I'll come back.
It's okay.
I'm going to be close for you. You sure?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Are you guys okay with it? It's a lot. I don't know. Some people it may be a lot of background for this. Is everyone okay with it? Or
I'll come back.
Are you sure? Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to be clear when you speak. Anyone else want to share? Hey, Jocelyn. Hey, Dr. Francine, Starfurry, Edna, Rick. Everyone's quiet. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a very sentimental call today and personal. So yeah, that's all I'm covering.
Hey, Dr. Keisha, I was gonna say, it's again so fascinating to not be a part of a specific group and listen into something that's very intimate and very specific to them, and it really opens you up just to be more empathetic to their specific situation. And Ramona, your share was just so wonderful. And again, like hearing these stories and understanding these situations makes you understand how important it is to support the people that are trying to support us as well. And by that, I also mean like Kamala and the Democratic Party. And we see such a stark difference of what's going on. And I would also add this, and I probably mentioned this before. It's such a great documentary that I think Obama's film production company, I think one of their first documentaries they ever did was called Crip Camp, which was nominated for an Oscar for a documentary. And it was about a group of kids. It was actually a camp up in upstate New York, just like a regular camp that was for kids with disabilities, different types of disabilities. And this was in the 70s. And it was basically like, you know, run by like a bunch of like hippies and Jews and others. And it was just like a regular camp. And what they used to do with people with disabilities, they used to put them in asylums. They used to kind of put them away out of, you know, not give them like kind of like normal like experiences. And what this camp did is that the parents would send the kids up there and they would have a regular camp, but they would try to make it a regular camp experience for every kid that was there, whether they were in a wheelchair, whether they had other disabilities. And it fueled them. I don't want to give out any spoilers, but it's going to be a spoiler anyway. It was such a beautiful thing to witness how much it meant for these kids to be treated normally, to be able to go to a regular camp, to be able to like do things. And the spoiler here is that it motivated so many of these kids who eventually grew into adults, who eventually became activists, who eventually became the ones responsible for making the ADA happen. And it's an amazing story. And I hope everybody can, if you haven't seen it, to please see Crip Camp. It was so beautiful. And you know, in my bones, I'm a camp person anyway, and a lot of people here may know that. But this was such a profound thing to watch and to see all the struggles, but to see the absolute joy that came out of this experience and how it really changed the game for a lot of people with disabilities. And then, of course, we know what happened with the ADA and how that was transformational for so many people. So,
Ooh, put that in the chat so we can watch that movie. And Ramona said that she works for the Centers for Independent Living, and that came from the people who created the Crep Camp. So I love that. Thank you for that, Scotty. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with your sentiment on everything. And this discussion, seriously, it's like listening in, but at the same time as being a parent of it. There's parts where you want to be inclusive, of course, and then it's also nice to have those groups where you talk. I'm part of a couple of groups on Facebook, and I love hearing the stories from other mothers going through the same thing I'm going through. And you just realize you're really not alone. You're really not alone at all. I know Dr. Sharon wants to share. I'm doing a musical selection before we go to the next part, and then anybody else that wants to share still can. And welcome, Thomas. Okay, someone speaking next. Hi, Joel. We're just doing a musical selection, then you can speak next. right, so it's been a good conversation. Dr. Sharon, I want to check on you real quick because I know you were trying to speak. Have you made it to a destination that you can speak? All right, well, tap on your mic or send me a text message when you can. Off to you, Joella. Welcome.
Yes, thank you for having me up. So, listening to this latest call actually has me realizing, as a full time caregiver to both my parents, that their voting status, in a way, has changed because, you know, you can be disabled. I mean, some people can be born disabled, but you can become disabled, medically, through a medical condition or health condition, which is our case. And this year alone, I mean, just last week, my mother has now gotten a wheelchair, and she was moving from being able-bodied, walking. Now she's using a wheelchair, and my dad, is on hospice, but not hospice because he's passing away anytime soon, but because as a full-time caregiver and sole caregiver to both of them, I'm, needing, an aide to come into the home every day. And sitting here listening to the speakers, I'm realizing, wow, I'm going to have to call the county and actually get a mail, like do a mail-in ballot, because over the years, seeing my parents, when they were of better health, they were able to walk into a polling booth or station, and then gradually it was, they had people come out to the car, and now, their health has kind of worsened. It's making me realize, like, wow, I'm going to have to call the county and get this done very early so they can cast their vote. Unfortunately, my mom, I think it was May of this year, because, Texas always has these local elections, and she had just come out of the hospital and going to rehab. And in rehab, she didn't have the opportunity to vote. And it made me think, like, how come they don't supply, like, polling people to come to, like, nursing homes and hospitals? That's something to think about. And I've also, as someone who worked polls in the past, when Obama was running, I don't ever recall seeing, like, a sign language interpreter at a polling station, ever. Or seeing many people in wheelchairs, like, casting their ballot. So that's just something to think about. I just came to realization that, yeah, kind of fall into the same, this category of being disabled. And how are we going to get both my parents, who have predominantly voted in every election except for the last local, because my dad was in the hospital, to reach as many voters as possible. And yeah.
Thank you, Joella. Last time when we were speaking over on Canteen and you shared your story, I was just thinking how strong you were having to deal with that with both parents. And then listen to this conversation, you realize that they now could vote differently and hopefully more accessible. But Edna's here, and Edna has been talking and been really active in the whole voting process in Texas for a long time. So I don't know if you have any words or tips for her to navigate this, Edna, if you're there. And welcome to everyone. Listen, these conversations are for all of us. We really are for Quote Harris, and we want to sit and talk in these rooms. But if we've got to be about action, not just getting ourselves to vote and our family, but those who don't have the abilities that we depend on, that are part of our lives or that are not, that we also get the information to gather to help them. We're strength in numbers. Go ahead, Ed.
I am sorry. I actually had kind of left for a minute there. What was the question that was?
So Joella's in Texas, and she has now two parents that before were not, but now are considered disabled, and that she can do the mail-in ballots. So she was just wondering, yeah.
That's
so this
great.
would be a first time though. So this is they were not disabled before.
Oh, okay, good. I'll put my, I will, if she'd like to definitely give me I'll send my email if she wants to talk further about that. I am sorry. I am still grieving behind the loss of Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, which was my good friend, and we put her to rest today. So I'm a little out of it. But what she needs to do, and it's very important that you really, when you get that ballot, that you look at everything on there, because if it's something that's not, if you got to put your date of birth on there. You got to make sure that it's signed correctly, sealed. So it's a process, and that's how a lot of times those ballots actually were rejected because they may have left off just one thing off of it. So when you get it, make sure that you read it completely, follow the instructions. They give you the instructions, but sometimes you just forget something. You might forget to put that last four digits. That they say of your 'cause I think it's driving license number. I got to get back into it now because I'm actually going and doing some of this with training with the seniors now to make sure that they get it. The good thing about it is that you requested it, because what we found out, a lot of the seniors, it used to be that they didn't have to request these ballots; it will automatically come to them. But what has happened now, they changed that. So if you don't call and request it, you don't receive one. So we lost out on a lot of votes the last election because they were waiting for the ballot to come and it never showed up. So just really, if you have any questions on it right now, Tanisha Husted, who is our county clerk, is really doing some great work in coming out to the communities and things and doing trainings right now to make sure that people understand exactly what they need to do. They're signing up voter deputies. If anybody wants to volunteer to be a voter deputy, they're doing that as well. So just read everything with a fine tooth, make sure everything, and make sure, next thing is make sure when you get ready to mail that ballot, it's important to know what the cost of that postage is. Because what they found out one year, there was not enough postage. People put one stamp on there and it wasn't enough because it was like a three-page ballot. So you want to make sure that you find out the cost of that postage when you put on there. A lot of times my seniors, I usually go out and buy stamps for my seniors and give to them, because a lot of times they don't even have stamps to put on them. So we just need to make sure that process, that they do it. So if you have any questions, I'll put my email in the chat. Feel free to give me a shout out.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, and no, thank you so much. And just a quick question for you. Those who have to, who are going to be voting by mail, can they early vote as well?
Yes.
Okay.
But they got, now here's another thing too with that. I mean, sending that back, because you'll get that ballot early enough to get it in. One of the things you don't want to do, and this is what happened to some seniors, they decided they wanted to do the mail-in ballot, and then they decided at the last minute they wanted to go to the polls. They didn't want to mail it in. If you do that, you have to take that mail-in ballot with you to the poll, because they need to take it out of the system that you were scheduled to mail in. Otherwise, they're not going to let you vote. They'll let you do a provisional ballot, but you don't want to do that. So if some of the seniors decide they want to go to the poll and they receive the mail-in ballot, take that mail-in ballot with you to the poll.
Thank you. This is great information.
That's good information, Edna. Thank you, and condolences to you. We're here in Houston too, and it's just so hard. The amazing things that she's done for our community and beyond.
Yeah, it was very, very. But you know what? The good part about it was when you see a giant, a woman, a black woman that has did so much. I mean, just went through barriers that it just makes you feel really good. So in the end, all my tears was joy. To just know that she was a black woman that did not stop, was a fighter, did not let anybody stop her. And when our vice president came out and spoke about her, how she had impacted her life, it was just phenomenal. It was just beautiful. So I am fired up and ready to get out here. I do it all the time anyway, so it's nothing new for me. But I am fired up to really get our people, get our seniors, because it'd be surprising to know that a lot of our seniors don't vote either. So, a lot of times they'll say they want to say the young people don't vote, but that's not true. The seniors don't vote either. And so I'm really going to get out there and start talking to them because that is no excuse for a senior not to vote.
Thank you, Ebony. Dr. Sharon, are you back? Paging Dr. Sharon? She's not there.
I'm in a noisy spot.
Yeah, that mic is worse, Dr. Sharon. Anyone else want to speak before we move on about the call we had today? Or anything else? Maybe updates, because we're moving to updates. Dr. Nikki Thomas is in the house. Star Furry, did you want to speak? We have not met you. Welcome. You have to go to the bottom of your screen and hit the mic to unmic.
Hi, good evening. I'm in DC. It's storming. Give me 5 minutes. I'll come back. And I'm a disabled U.S. Army veteran. Just give me 1 second.
Oh, we'd love to hear from you. Okay, take your time. Anytime you want to come in, hold on your profile pic until the emojis come up and just hit on any emoji or the hand emoji and we'll know that you want to speak. Or unmic. Welcome, welcome. Anybody else? Hey, Dr. Francine, anything to share? It's been a star-filled week. Finally getting the votes she needed to move on. We know she's a Democratic nominee. It's exciting. Waiting for Tuesday or this weekend to find out who the VP pick is. She has secured a huge amount of money, which we talked about yesterday.
Dr. Paige and Dr. Keisha. Hey, how you doing? Once again, thanks for putting these rooms on. I honestly, to tell you the truth, this is one of those things where I just kind of like want to stay back and I want to listen. You know, you're getting an insight to a world that some people take for granted, and some people, you know, just ultimately disrespect. I honestly, to tell you the truth, I think it's one of Donald Trump's nephews is writing a book. And they had, in the book, there's an insert where he was talking about his uncle who was severely disabled. And the insurance policy that they all belong to, because, you know, Trump drained at like a faucet. He was saying, hey, we need more money for his health care and his benefits. And Donald Trump literally stated, like, why don't you just let him die and then you can come over here to Florida and you can just live down here. So I know we joke around when we say, like, this is going to be the last one. I mean, not even joking around, but I know we always say, like, this is going to be the last one. But I honestly feel like these people are fighting for their lives and to be seen on stages. And I wanted to share, Ramona, if she's still here, you know, you always have my heart. Because me and Ramona will go back and forth. But it's one of those things like, if you don't believe that this is real and doesn't have consequences, it really does. Because the other person on the other side is literally not even trying to take anybody with disabilities seriously. He's been famously stated that he doesn't want to see veterans or put veterans on screen because it makes people sad, you know. So let's be clear about when we vote, you know. I just say thank you for this stage. I say thank you for the presence. I see some pink tickets out there, so I just want to go ahead and take if you let me go, I want to take the time to let everybody know if you guys can join the house. And then make sure to follow Dr. Keisha, Dr. Smith, a lot of these moderators up here. So when they open rooms and we have spaces like this, that you guys will know what's going on out there, because it's going fast, it's going quick, and I wanted to share that with you. On top of that, I wanted to let you know that I had a friend of mine, and I talked to him, and he was letting me know that he kind of joins the room, and he like learned a lot about Kamala Harris, including a lot of that misinformation that's out there. So I just wanted to applaud you on the back for that one, Dr. Keisha, and I'll go back on you. But if anybody else has anything they want to say, just, I mean, it's popcorn time until we get back to the call. I mean, does anybody else?
I'll add something too. As I'm listening, like, this has been so this last week plus, and in this room, in this house, Dr. Heeshan, everybody's sharing. It's been so positive and inspiring. And there are little moments like when I'm listening into the disability call, when I'm listening into a couple of the other calls that we had, and when I listen to how people are disenfranchised, I'm fucking angry too. I'm fucking pissed. I knew all of this was going on, and I am positive, and I am inspired, and I'm glad people are inspired, but I'm also fucking angry at this country. And I have been for quite a while, but all of this stuff reminds me that as much as all of this is so positive and it feels very good that this is happening, I'm also fucking angry that we're in this place right now. I'm angry at my fellow Americans. I'm angry that people who sit on the sidelines. I'm angry at the people who let shit like this happen to the disenfranchised in this country, to block them from voting, to make it harder for them for voting. What kind of despicable human beings that exist in this country who do this stuff and do it with glee and do this behind our backs? I'm fucking pissed at this. I mean, I have a whole litany of things that I'm pissed about, but as I'm hearing some of the stories about the disenfranchisement of the voting, that really makes my blood boil. But we can go on to some.
I was giving space for someone to respond because I feel like you do. What kind of world are we? Like, to get to this point.
It's really it's infuriating, and I don't want to kill the vibe, but just for a moment. I just want to it's like when I really step back and think about it, I'm like, I'm fucking mad. Like, I'm really fucking mad at these people and how they can treat other people and their neighbors like this. What kind of, first of all, disgusting people are they? What kind of religion do they say they adhere to that they don't actually do? They're phonies and hypocrites, and how dare they? And I just want, when I think about what goes on in Texas, there are millions and millions and millions of people in Texas who don't want to have the administration that they have there, who want a different life. And they are being marginalized. They're not being allowed to vote. The gerrymandering that is happening. And I don't even want to get into the issues of guns and police brutality and environment and everything else that these people care for. And people always say things like, oh, well, you can just leave. That is such a comment based on privilege. People cannot leave wherever they are, as a general rule. They don't have family anywhere else. Their family may not take them in. Their family may not have the resources. They don't have the resources. People are stuck where they are, and they have to make do with what they have to make do in their location. And the only way they can get out of this is if their neighbors and other people help them, and their elected leaders listen to them and make the changes. And how dare those other people put their foot on their neck and make their vote not count, and cut benefits and cut access to resources so that they can vote or get medical care or have clean water. It's really disgusting that we actually have to say this, and we have to advocate for people in our own community just to have clean air, clean water, access to the polls, and a safe school, for example. So I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna go take a sip of a cocktail that I'm going to now make for myself. It's Friday.
Wait, Rick said turn anger into action. And cocktail.
I was just being nosy. I was like, what is it gonna be, Scotty?
I gotta see what's left over. I almost never drink at home, but I know there's something somewhere in the back of the fridge or there's some bottle in a drawer at the back of the kitchen or something.
Well, I would like to say thank you for being mad and being upset because if I had people here in Houston that were like that, maybe we could make a change. The community that I live in, my grandmother moved 2 acres homes, which at one time was the largest black community in the United States. And she moved here in 1929 and they made the change. They did the voting. They made sure people got out and did what they had to do. But now it's like people don't care. I've never seen this is I mean, it is terrible. And like you're saying, I have lived here all my life. Why should I have to get up and move for somewhere that I want to live and be able to? I've raised all my kids, my 3 kids in this house. I've been in here since 1977. And I go and I talk to these people and they just like they don't care. I have never in this voting thing, it's terrible. And I've been doing this since I was 16 years old and I'm 73 now. And these people just I don't get it. It makes me mad too. And sometimes I know they think I'm crazy because I just get just really so upset, that people just don't even take the time to even talk to. It's terrible. And so we're talking about this man, Abbott, sit up here and let people froze to death in the storm, froze to death, and we still reelected him back in office. Over 1 million people here in Harris County did not vote. Did not vote. And we're dealing with this now, with him back in office. Depressing, it's just really depressing. So thank you for speaking out. Thank you.
And I just want to say he also went on vacation.
Oh Lord. Well, I feel you guys' pain. I'm in Florida. So luckily I live in Duval County and I want to let you guys know that change can happen. I mean, we just elected our first Democratic mayor, and we got her over the finish line because independents, Democrats, and Republicans all came together, and we got our last mayor out of office so he could not do any more damage. And unfortunately, we're stuck with the sanctimonious, but we are really working hard to get our friends down south to vote because we discovered that in 22 when we had a lot of them did not get out and vote. They stayed home. And so, yeah, I feel you guys' pain. Like, I was on a call the other day. Quick story. I was on a call the other day, and our party chair, Nikki Fried, was on it. She was co-hosting it, and it was a pets. It was pets for pets and pet owners and pet allies for Kamala. And she was talking about how that this is why it's so important that we not only elect Kamala, but make sure that we are all get we make sure that we let our friends know, our family, our coworkers, all to vote blue to make sure that you vote up and down the ballot because here in Florida we are living under Project 2025. Literally, like the things that are happening here with our education system, with they just passed a bill this last time said they're taking climate change out of everything, like literally. It's bad, and so I mean, the fact that we have a Democratic mayor is it's important, right? That we're in a blue county, but but besides that, that's why it's so important that we all get out to vote and we make sure that our friends and family get out to vote so that we have a chance to make change because, I mean, we did it here in Duval and everybody came together and we had our third annual disabilities conference 2 week ago, and they said it was the largest one ever. And so I know that change can happen, and it's going to take all of us, but we have to get her and the rest of um, and Democrats up and down the ballot because we also have two senators here in Florida, Rick Scott and I forgot the other person's name, but Rick Scott is not doing anything.
Little Marco Rubio.
Yeah. Thank you, Ramona. Thank you.
No, that was Scotty, but that's okay.
Yeah, Scotty. No,
No,
they're
that's
not.
all right. Ramona has a deeper voice than me.
Okay,
I have a higher
you're
voice
right.
than her.
But no, they're not doing anything, and so I mean, it's kind of sad. But Florida and Texas are one and the same. And I'm done speaking.
Thank you, Minnie. Thank you for speaking. Did anyone else? Dr. Sharon, you back?
I'm ready.
Oh, okay. We'll get off to Starberry. Starberry, sorry.
So I get it all the time. It's okay. I appreciate it. My name is Starcher. I'm here in the Maryland, Washington, D.C. area. I'm from Trinidad originally, but became a U.S. citizen in the United States Army. 100% disabled. So all politics aside, because if you're not a veteran, you really don't know my world. So I support veterans and families. I work with Congressman Glenn Ives on his Veterans Board Committee. I'm a part of the VFW. So I'm all veteran bound. But when it comes to disabled veterans and people who we deal with disability on that side, it is, I want to say, first of all, thank you for all of y'all speaking up. And like Scotty said, you need to get mad and you need to stay active. Don't wait till every time a politician runs around and then, do this. I know you probably don't do it, but it's not about the politics. It's about our neighbors. It's about each other. And so that is what I advocate. I advocate every day, not just for veterans, but even for myself. Case in point, what Scotty was talking about, it's not just this people with disability who are being suppressed and oppressed. It's everyone. As veterans, we know that you draw the line. There's the good people and bad people. Right now, I'm going through I'm going through something currently on my job for a federal agency that discriminated against me because of my disability. Imagine that. So, I appreciate the talk. We need more and more spaces like this. And when the voting is over and everyone is like, okay, this person's in, that person's in, you need to continue the charge, as we say in the military, and continue to fight for the less fortunate and so they can get a voice. And I thank you.
Thank you, man.
Hey, Dr. Hussein is on. Can you hear me?
Can you guys hear her? You're breaking up a bit.
Well, I'm driving. I don't know.
That's better.
Better? Okay. Yeah. You know what? Actually, driving, listening to the conversation, it just dawned on me that I just never thought that there would be discrimination against persons with disabilities for voting. I just, forgive my ignorance, right? Really, truly, forgive my ignorance. Because, as a physician, I've taken care of, persons with disability, throughout my entire career. Whether it's an elderly person who I have to help with the mobility versus I've had blind, deaf, mute, mentally disabled patients that I've taken care of, like throughout my career, and it just for me, in my role as a physician, it became kind of natural for me. Like, what do you need? How do I, just going even the extra mile to make sure that they get what they need, and knowing that when this person comes in, and I tell them, when you call, and just let them know it's you, so we can reserve, an extended period of time for you, so you can get, get what you need. But I just never thought that, like, a voting process, like your civil duty, your right, will be basically trying to take away the person's right to vote because they're disabled. I mean, how? And that's really, I don't want to say right now. I can't. I mean, forgive me if I'm, if it's just really truly my ignorance, but I never thought of that. So forgive me.
Thank you, Dr. Sharon. Anyone else? Elle? Rip?
Hi, everybody. It's good to see everybody here tonight. I just came in for a little bit. I'll try to come in and out, Dr. Keisha. I'm happy to be here as always. I heard a little bit of the disability, and Ramona, I was just thrilled to listen to you. And I'm going to keep listening for a while, but I'm just glad we're all here together again.
Thank you. Well, we've been here since 6. We've been doing this every day. A lot of us have been here for a long time, so I think we should close it early. But I am going to play a couple of... Let me play... clip. Okay, I have some good clips, you guys, actually. I'm going to play. So let me find the first one. Here's the good one. Let's see if it opens. It's supposed to be. Well, that one's not opening. So, I don't know if you guys knew yesterday that VP Harris gave the eulogy, and then there was a point of it where she accidentally called herself the president in there.
That America's true and full history must be acknowledged and honored. It was Sheila Jackson Lee whose bill made Juneteenth a federal holiday, which as a United States Senator I was proud to co-sponsor, and then as Vice President, it was my honor, with the President,
claim it.
It was my honor. It was my honor with our President Joe Biden to stand beside Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee as our president.
Okay, that was good. Now I have some videos. Okay, one of them, listen, you know what is so creative? When someone talks about you and you take it and you throw it into an Instagram reel, a Twitter video, it's just so empowering and so funny. And so there were a couple of groups that did that. And here we go.
Headless, I have cats. I am the biggest nightmare of this JD band. I am a lady who loves her pets. They are good for taking care of other rats. I am woman. This is cat. We are an item and together we are brats. Get out your notebook. We have a quote. In November we are all going to vote. Childless cat lady, I am running the whole country. Childless cat lady, meow meow. Watch out, JD. Childless cat lady, we are running the whole country. Childless cat lady, you better watch your back, JD. I am
Okay, that was funny. Then there's an attorney. Her name is Stacy with an I, and she's rapping for Kamala.
I told you in June that we need to vote blue. Vote for a pretty little thing in a pencil. Don't get it twisted, Harris something major. I put $1 billion on it, that's my wager. Big Libra energy, not the little one. You know all the best lawyers from the same son. The VP finna get a promotion. She finna give Donald Trump an abortion. She saying black men a jump of weed, that's cap. Can't breathe for yourself, that's the real trap. Get your trigger fingers out, look her back on track. Toss some petty cases out, baby, that's the fact. It's Kamala, the daughter of Miss Shamala. Go girl, keep telling folks you ain't even gonna vote nothing. I'ma vote for a bona fide black woman. Yeah, it's time to vote for a black woman. Yeah, it's time to vote for a black woman. It's time to vote for, it's time to vote for, it's time to vote for a bona fide black woman. Yeah, bona fide black woman.
I really like that one. And wait a minute. We're gonna finish with you guys like to call names and we'll play that one again. You guys like to call names and call people weird. It's really not nice when we call people weird.
Weird ones, and if you've ever seen her with the laugh and everything else, that's a weird deal going on there. They're the weird ones. Nobody's ever called me weird. I'm a lot of things, but weird I'm not. And I'm up front. And he's not either, I will tell you. JD is not at all. They are. Well, they're the weird ones, and if you've ever seen her with the laugh and everything else, that's a...
Hitless. I'm going to play that rap video again.
Honey Child's on the track. I told you in June that we need to vote blue. Vote for a pretty little thing in a pencil. Don't get it twisted, Harris something major. I put $1 billion on it, that's my wager. Big Libra energy, not the little one. You know all the best lawyers from the same son. The VP finna get a promotion. She finna give Donald Trump an abortion. She saying black men a jump of weed, that's cap. Can't breathe for yourself, that's the real trap. Get your trigger fingers out, look her back on track. Toss some petty cases out, baby, that's the fact. It's Kamala, the daughter of Miss Shamala. Go girl, keep telling folks you ain't even gonna vote nothing. I'ma vote for a bona fide black woman. Yeah, it's time to vote for a black woman. Yeah, it's time to vote for a black woman. It's time to vote for, it's time to vote for, it's time to vote for a bona fide black woman.
Dr. Keisha, I think I had mentioned it in a room earlier today, and Jerry asked me, Julia, when did you discover that you were black? And I said, I discovered that I was black the day I came home after school to watch. There was a program show, a public access channel called Video Music Docs with DJ Ralph McDaniels. And the video that came on was Doing the Butt by EU. And at that moment, y'all, I realized that I was black. And I haven't turned back since. Thank you so much.
Oh, Julia. Oh, yeah, Joella.
So Dr. Keisha, there's actually one more that I think we should play. So I don't know if you go on Instagram, there's a young lady by the name I Am Julie Mango.
I know I am Julie Mango.
Julie Mango needs to run for president.
America's true.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about too. Hold on, let me get in my
Yeah, so she does the Jamaican.
Oh yeah, the Jamaican president one. But which one though? She has several.
Yeah, so her latest one, let's see, I'm on there, I don't know if I could.
Her latest one was like a week ago. Probably
She
within
just
the week.
posted one, let me see, what day was 3 days ago.
The one that she pinned? Or the one with the red thing on, the one with the head wrap, the one with the one drinking a coconut.
The coconut. Yeah.
This anger translator addresses the media.
Them say me no question. Hold on then. Yes.